opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Unreasonable. Prime Minister Davis firing back at the GBPA, says there aren't two governments in the Bahamas. Prime Minister land-based GBPA says the government will secure growth for Freeport. National Security Minister Wayne Munro says UK investigators are meant to give peace of mind to the public on the police probe. And we've got the very latest on Team Bahamas as the Paris Olympics come to a close. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, August 12th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Deandra Cartwright will be joining us. And we'll have a lot more on the Grand Bahama Port Authority issue in business coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, police investigating the country's latest murder. A man found dead with multiple gunshot wounds in South Beach. It happened late Saturday. The murder brings the country's murder toll for the year to 79. Police saying the victim appeared to be in his early 20s. Police receiving reports of a body in the area of South Beach pools around 2:30 p.m. Saturday. Police found that victim was declared dead. They believe the incident took place in a wooded area, and they found the body, but noted that the investigation is still in its early stages. A judge setting bail at $30,000 for a man accused of murder, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. As a condition of bail, Sean Higgs has to wear an ankle monitor, sign in at a police station, and keep curfew. Prosecutors allege that Higgs is responsible for the February 8, 2021 murder of Kendrick Ferguson and Lincoln Boulevard and Homestead Street. They further allege that Higgs opened fire on 3 people on March 7, 2021, while at Homestead Street. He faces 3 counts of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life in that case. Additionally, Higgs is accused of the attempted murder of Romero Roll on March 14, 2021 in Engliston. In granting bail, Justice Janine Weech-Gomez found that there were conditions that could be imposed to ensure that Higgs appeared for his trial. A magistrate has denied bail to a 30-year-old man accused of providing assistance to the gunman who killed Brendan Adderley last month. Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley last week refused bail for Andre Thompson, who's accused of abetment to murder. Thompson allegedly rented a car used by the two gunmen who shot and killed Adderley and Chippingham on July 30th. Meanwhile, Adderley's alleged killers remain at large. Thompson's lawyer argued that the car has not been recovered and that no one has been charged with the murder. According to the lawyer, Thompson was being tracked electronically, and there was no evidence that he was at the scene of the crime. At the time of Adderley's murder, Thompson was on bail for the January 10th, 2019 murder of Joel Russell in Pinewood Gardens. His trial set for 2025. Nonetheless, the magistrate ruling that Thompson was not fit and proper, or not a fit and proper candidate for bail, given his previous conviction for possession of an unlicensed firearm and his pending murder trial. Thompson is next scheduled to appear before Reckley on December 5th to receive a voluntary bill of indictment that will fast-track the case to the Supreme Court. A Long Island man identified by loved ones as Douglas McCarty is believed to have drowned in the waters at Dean's Blue Hole. This was on Saturday. According to police, McCarty, a resident of Deadman's Key, was swimming with his family around 7 p.m. when he went underwater and failed to resurface. Police and volunteer divers still searching for him up to yesterday. Prime Minister Philip Davis says that Grand Bahama request for an electricity rate increase is unreasonable. Davis also hitting out of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and its assertion that it's sole licensor and regulator of all utilities in Freeport. Davis says that under the law, there's only one regulator with the power to approve a rate increase, and that's IRCA. He's referring to a new electricity act that was passed earlier this year, which establishes IRCA as the only regulator for the country's energy sector. GBPA, however, has asserted its rights as the regulator for electricity on Grand Bahama, citing its powers as outlined in the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. The Prime Minister also saying that despite receiving billions of dollars in concessions over the years, the GBPA has done little to enrich and empower Bahamians on the island. The Prime Minister was in Freeport on Saturday for a meeting with the PLP's women's and men's branch, reiterated that investors haven't raised an eyebrow over the row between the port and the government. He said the Davis administration is demanding that the GBPA pay $357 million it says it owed, and that it's owed to the government. The port says it doesn't owe the government a penny. And National Security Minister Wayne Munro says investigators from the UK National Crime Agency, who will travel to the Bahamas to oversee aspects of the probe into Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, shows that the investigation will be fair and thorough. He says they're over here as oversight and for assurance of the Bahamian public that this isn't something that hasn't had a, quote, second eye turned to it. Overseas, the leaders of France, Germany, and Britain have endorsed calls for a ceasefire in Gaza, the return of scores of hostages held by Hamas, and the unfettered delivery of humanitarian aid. In a joint statement released today, they endorsed the latest push by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt to broker an agreement to end the 10-month-old Israel-Hamas war. The mediators have spent months trying to get the sides to agree to a three-phase plan in which Hamas would release the remaining hostages captured in its October 7th attack in exchange for Palestinians imprisoned by Israel, and Israel would withdraw from Gaza. It was signed by French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The statement also calls on Iran and its allies to refrain from any retaliatory attacks that would further escalate regional tensions after the killing of two senior militants last month in Beirut and Tehran. An official in the Kursk region of Russia today urging more residents to evacuate due to the very tense situation in the area, where Russian forces are still scrambling to respond to a surprise Ukrainian attack after almost a week of fierce fighting. Russia's emergency authorities say more than 76,000 people have fled their homes in areas of Kursk, where Ukrainian troops and armor poured across the border on August 6th, reportedly driving as deep as 19 miles into Russia and sowing alarm. The governor of the Belgorod region adjacent to Kursk also announcing the evacuation of people from a district near the Ukrainian border, describing today the situation as, quote, alarming, but giving no detail. Ukrainian forces swiftly rolled into the town of Sutska, about 6 miles over the border. After launching the attack, they reportedly still hold the western part of the town, which is the site of an important natural gas transit station. And more than 40 families of victims of an airliner crash in Brazil gathering at a morgue and hotels in Sao Paulo as 3 French government investigators arrived in the country. Forensics experts are working to identify the remains of the 62 people who were killed. Sao Paulo state government said the 2 engines of the planes were removed from the crash site Sunday evening, more than 2 days after the accident. The rest of the wreckage had already been removed. The remains of all 34 male and 28 female victims were recovered on Saturday. The ATR-72 twin-engine turboprop operated by Brazilian airline Zopas was headed to the international airport in Sao Paulo with 58 passengers and 4 crew members aboard when it went down Friday, 49 miles north of the city. Vopas said that 3 passengers who held Brazilian identification also carried Venezuelan documents and one had Portuguese identity. ATR is a French-Italian company. International aviation protocols recommend that investigators from the country of origin of the airplane maker follow inquiries on foreign soil whenever a crash involving one of those planes takes place. Local authorities said that 3 French investigators in Brazil worked at BEA, the European country's body for civil aviation security. In sports, after more than 2 weeks, the Olympics are done. The order of finish of the 2024 Games coming right down to the final event Sunday as China and the United States battled. But for the first time since 1988, the Bahamas was left without a medal. For more on that, our man Sheldon Longley in Paris.
Good day, Bahamas. This is Sheldon Longley coming to you from Paris, France. I'm getting ready to board my flight back to that side of the world. But I can tell you the host city for the Games of the 33rd Olympiad, they closed it out in style last night, having a very unique, creative, and colorful closing ceremony, officially handing the baton off to Los Angeles, who will host the 2028 Olympics. The Olympics returning to the United States for the first time in 32 years. The last time the Olympics was held in the United States was 1996 when Atlanta hosted. And in 2028, the Olympics will be returning to the United States, hosted by the city of Los Angeles, California. Let's give you a rundown on how Bahamians did here at these Olympics. Devon Charlton, she was 6th in the women's 100-meter hurdles, 12.56 seconds. She was the Bahamas' only finalist. The Bahamas not winning a medal for the first time since 1988, ending a string of 8 straight Olympics in which the Bahamas had won a medal. Devon Charlton, she was our best finisher, 6th in the women's 100-meter hurdles, 12.56 seconds. There were 3 other semifinalists. Charisma Taylor, she was 12th overall in the women's 100-meter hurdles. She had a place in the best time of 12.63 seconds. She also competed in the women's triple jump, and she was 15th in that event with a jump of 40.01 meters, 45 feet, 11 3/4 inches. Wanya McCoy, he was a semifinalist. He finished 18th overall in the men's 200 meters, 20.61 seconds. The Bahamas' only other semifinalist was Anton Andrews. He finished tied for 18th overall in the men's 110-meter hurdles, 13.43 seconds. The other Bahamian in the men's 200 meters, Ian McCoy, he didn't make it out of the repechage rounds. He was 28th overall in 20.60 seconds. How about Ken Mullings? New national record for Ken Mullings in the men's decathlon, making history as the first Bahamian to compete in the multi-events at the Olympics. He finished 13th overall with a national record of 82.26 points. Outstanding performance by Ken, coming close or near to placing the best marks or establishing placing the best marks in some of the 10 events. Very good performance, 82.26 national record for Ken Mullings. Speaking of national records, how about Lamar Taylor in the men's 100-meter free in swimming? He finished tied for 26th overall in 48.84 seconds. That was a national record, becoming the first Bahamian to swim under 49 seconds in that event, 48.84 new national record. The mixed relay team, Wendell Miller, Wendell Miller, Javonia McCoy, Alonzo Russell, and Quincy Penn. I know they took a lot of heat, but they finished 13th overall and 3:14.58. And it's interesting to know that that time was close to the time of 3:14.42 that the team of Anthony Strachan, Shawnee Miller-Weeble, Stephen Gardner, and Michael Matthew ran for the World Relays title back in 2017. So a very good time there by the mixed relay team, 3:14.58. They finished 13th overall. Wanya and Terrence in the men's 100 meters. Wanya was 41st overall in 10.24 seconds. And Terrence Jones, he finished 49th overall in 10.31 seconds. The other Bahamian in the women's 100 meter hurdles, she didn't have a good run at it. She hit the second and third hurdles in a repechage rounds. She finished at 13.45 seconds. It was only good enough for 38th overall. The other Bahamian swimmer, Reneshka Gibbs, she was 31st overall in the women's 50-meter free. She swam a time of 26.27 seconds, which was very close to her personal best time. Rima Otobo in the women's javelin, this is her first Olympics, and she finished with a best throw of 57.67 meters, 189 feet, 2 inches. She was 27th overall. The only other Bahamian in action was 5-time Olympian Donald Thomas. He no-highted in the men's high jump, failed to clear the opening height of 2.15 meters. He finished in a 3-way tie for 29th overall. So some very good performances for Team Bahamas. There's some coming close to personal best times. You have a couple of national records in there. Like I said, no medal won, but Devon Charlton making the final of the women's 100-meter hurdles, finishing 6th overall, 12.56 seconds. This is Sheldon Only coming to you one final time from the Games to the 33rd Olympiad in Paris, France.
And we want to thank Sheldon for a fantastic job that he did in Paris. And we'll talk to him when he gets back. All right, more from the Olympics. U.S. Olympic officials are appealing a court ruling that resulted in American gymnast Jordan Childs being asked to return the bronze medal she won in the Paris Olympics floor exercise. The Court of Arbitration for Sport voided an on-floor appeal by Childs' coach that vaulted her to third, saying the appeal came 4 seconds beyond the 1-minute time limit for scoring inquiries. USA Gymnastics disputing the timing, saying in a statement Sunday that the agency submitted video evidence to CAS, Court of Arbitration for Sport, that showed coach Cecile Landy first appealed 13 seconds before the deadline. The dispute over such minute details sets up what could be a months or years-long legal battle over the gymnastics scores. And Olympic boxing champion Imani Khalif has filed a legal complaint in France for online harassment after a rain of criticism and false claims about her sex during the Paris Olympics. Khalif, who will be Algeria's flag bearer in the closing ceremony, won gold Friday in the women's welterweight division, becoming a new hero in her native Algeria and bringing global attention to women's boxing. The complaint was filed Friday with a special unit in the Paris prosecutor's office for combating online hate speech, alleging aggravated cyber harassment targeting Khalif. In a statement, her lawyer described the harassment as misogynistic, racist, and sexist. It's now up to prosecutors to decide whether to open an investigation. As is common in French law, the complaint doesn't name an alleged perpetrator, but leaves it to investigators to determine who could be at fault. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a tropical wave moving westwards across the Caribbean Sea. That's going to continue to produce occasional bouts of showers and thunderstorms over portions of the southern Bahamas. For the rest of the country, a high-pressure ridge will promote typical summertime conditions through tonight. We do have another heat advisory, though. That's in effect for the entire country, with UV indices ranging from high to extreme, and residents and visitors being advised to keep hydrated, avoid extended activities outdoors, and wear protective garments and sunscreen, and seek shaded areas when possible. Beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution. There's a moderate risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines, and everyone's being advised that there's potential for localized flooding during periods of heavy downpours this morning. For today, your forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot and humid with isolated showers and a slight chance of a few but short-lived thunderstorms developing mainly over waters by late afternoon. Expect conditions to become mostly fair and warm with a few lingering showers tonight. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Winds may become gusty at times during the afternoon hours. Seas mostly flat near shore and over the banks, building 2 to 4 feet over local offshore waters. Expect slightly higher seas along Atlantic exposures and swells. For the southeast Bahamas today, partly cloudy and warm with early morning showers and thunderstorms. Just moving west of the area. Expect a mix of sun and clouds, hot and breezy conditions with a few quick passing showers today, turning partly cloudy and warm tonight. Expect another wave of heavier showers and possible thunderstorms to affect the southernmost islands by late tonight. Small craft caution in effect for the southeastern islands. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Expect higher seas along Atlantic exposures and swells. Temperatures right now in Nassau, we are at about 81, 82 degrees. 80 up in Freeport. Look for highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make it feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We've got your extended outlook and look at the tropics. Something we need to keep our eye on in the tropics. We'll tell you about that coming up in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
The end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Wishing for some extra cash this summer? Yeah! Enter Esso's Summer Wins promotion. Esso is giving you the chance to win 3 incredible cash prizes. $2,000, $2,500, and the grandest prize of them all, $5,000. To enter, simply fuel up with $25 or more, write your contact information on the back of your receipt, and you'll be eligible to win. 10 lucky customers will also have a chance to participate in convenience store sweepstakes. Promotion ends September 29th, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Like and follow Sol Petroleum on Facebook for more details.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Hey Bahamas, ready for some eye-openers? Check out 2 brand new books by our legendary 3-time PM, Hubert Ingram. Get the tea on his amazing leadership and courage to buck the system. These books are for you, the game changers, movers and shakers, and anyone passionate about our nation's roots and future. Available now at Dungalik Studios, Logos Bookstore, the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, and Chapter 1 Bookstore. Score your copies today. Celebrate our amazing legacy.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Float Channel 612. You can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment on Monday, as usual, DeAndre Cartwright will be joining us, and we got a lot to talk about, a lot with the Olympics, our wrap-up there, and how Team Bahamas did. Want to hear from all of you on that, and some of the controversy that we've seen with the Olympics in the past few weeks, including with Team Bahamas. We want to get into all of that. Later, we're going to get a little bit deeper into what's happening with the Grand Bahama Port Authority, the Prime Minister speaking out against their, the Grand Bahama Power Company's request for a rate increase, and that request made to the Grand Bahama Port Authority as if they were the regulator for electricity in Grand Bahama. They believe they are, but the government says it's IRCA, and we've got more back and forth between the government of the Bahamas and the government, not quite the government of Grand Bahama, but we'll get into all of that, especially in business this morning. So a lot to talk about. Let's begin, though, with what's in the news. And in the news, it's all done. The Paris Olympics and the big closing yesterday. And for the first time since 1988's Olympics, the Bahamas left without any medal of any kind. We're going to get more into that in just a bit. But the order finish came down to the very end. And, depending on whom you ask, it's based on total medals or it's based on gold medals. But with gold medals, this is what our Sheldon Longley's writing in today's NASA Guardian. The order finish at the Olympics is based on gold medal count, and with the American women's dramatic 1-point triumph over host nation France in women's basketball on Sunday afternoon, the United States pulled into a tie with China in the number of gold, each with 40. To break the tie, total number of silver medals would then be considered, and the United States won that battle 44-27. The United States totaled more than 40 bronze medals as well, collecting 42 compared to 13 for China. In total, the United States won a record 126 medals. Now, everybody's saying this. I don't know if I agree with this either. They're saying that Devin Charlton counts as our one finalist. But Ken Mullings, that pretty much is a final there, right? No, we don't count it like that. He was... No? But anyway, all right, to move through, I guess, the rounds. Sure. Of course, she finished sixth in the women's 100 meters in 12.56 seconds. You heard the roundup that Sheldon did a few minutes ago, but he also spoke to Devin. Reporter spoke to her right there after the race in Paris. For more on that, take a listen to this report that Sheldon filed right after the race on Saturday.
Good day, Bomber. Sheldon Lonely coming to you live from the Games of the 33rd Olympiad here in Paris, France. Standing next Marina's Devon Charlton, finishing sixth in the women's 100-meter hurdles for the second Olympics in a row. She ran a time of 12.56 seconds. Let's talk and see how she felt about it.
I kind of had to play catch-up ball race, which isn't my strong suit, but I'm definitely proud of the way that I fought back. I think overall the back half of the race was pretty decent, all things considered. So I'm upset. I am upset. I'm not too upset, but just wanted something different today.
Yeah, you did mention you kind of looked like if you stayed back in those blocks. Was that because you anticipated there was going to be a false start?
Yeah, I thought it was, because when you have someone flinching next to you, like, your instinct is to just stay because they're going to call the race up. That was a misjudgment on my part. Should have been prepared for that.
What do you do now? What's the next step forward for you?
Keep working. Still have a big back half of the season to come. More races, some Diamond Leagues. So I'm just going to go back to training, get ready for that.
The second Olympics, and you didn't get a medal now. How do you feel about it, and moving forward now? And how do you regroup from this?
Probably going to be tough, You don't get too many shots at an Olympic gold. And so 4 years is a long time. I can't say what my chances look like at this point, but definitely still a goal of mine.
What did you think about your training partner winning a gold medal? Did you say anything to Messiah afterward?
I didn't say anything, just kind of hugged her, let her have that moment. But I'm super proud of her. I think if there's one good takeaway from this race, it would be that.
Devon, did you feel Camacho Quinn flinching on the side of you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but if it's not egregious enough where the system picks it up, it's not going to get called back. I should have been ready.
How tough was that 6 at the Olympics for the second Olympics in a row? How do you build up that?
It's real tough, especially since I know I was in more than enough shape to mount the podium. So definitely disappointed.
And then you want to say to blaming people back home?
I appreciate all the support. I saw all the posts, all the tags, all the messages. We'll try and take some time to respond to everybody, but definitely see it. I appreciate it, and sorry I didn't get it done.
Bahamas, that was Devon Charlton, your only finalist here in Paris, France. She was the only finalist for Team Bahamas at the Games of the 33rd Olympiad. She ran a time of 12.56 seconds. She finished 6th for the second Olympics in a row. This is Sheldon Lonely, reporting to you live from Paris, France.
Okay, let's get your reaction to it, folks. Tough break there, but we are definitely all proud of Devon Charlton and everybody. All of these folks, they did think about it. 6th, 13th, whatever. These are small numbers out of the whole world, right? So it's amazing what they've accomplished. Regardless of whether they received medals or not. But let's get your reaction to it. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 42247. And let's talk about it. How important is it for the country to have a medal? And is it a sign that something is wrong, or is that the competition is just very, very intense and fierce? Not that we're doing anything wrong, or do you know? You feel it, that you can see it, that clearly our focus is a little off, something is not connecting, and we've got some challenges that we need to address. How do we do that? Let's talk about it. Let's get your ideas on the table now. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. Also want to talk about some of the unfortunate stuff that was happening over the weekend. The back and forth between some of the athletes with Stephen Gardner. And started to get ugly there. Let's get into that a bit as well. We talked about that last week. Pauline Davis had written some stuff on Facebook. I don't think it was anything horrible, and it didn't necessarily target anybody, but some people felt that their toes were stepped on, and came out swinging. So Stephen Gardner issued a statement on social media, finally speaking, because we haven't heard from him after not starting his race. And I'm going to pull that up for you and read that. And then he also issued a statement to Pauline Davis, which started a whole chain of back and forth with other athletes jumping in as well. And it really started to get out of control over the weekend. All right, so this is what Stephen wrote. Now that it's been a few days, let me address something that needs to be addressed. At the end of the day is going to end. I'm a human, just like no other. I don't live for the approval of people. All the while narratives from others who weren't even in attendance is bizarre. Thank you, everyone who reached out. Your kind words, your words of kindness, greatly appreciated. See you guys next season. Okay, so that's what he said. Then he addressed Pauline. Now, if you don't know let me go back and read what Pauline said initially, and then we can decide whether any of what followed was warranted. But we did read it for you last week. This is what Pauline wrote last week. Dear fellow Bahamians, my dear fellow Bahamians, I completely understand the importance of health in all sporting endeavors, but it comes down to this: respect. Respect for your country, respect for your fellow athletes, coaches, and your people. Never do you not show on the line without explaining beforehand. If you are injured, pass the baton to others. Do not come to the games. Today I cried for my Bahamaland. I feel the tears of my fellow countrymen and women. My heart aches. It's not about the medals. It's about respect and love for our Bahamas. Love you always, my beautiful Bahamas. You will always come first for me. That was Pauline's statement there. So, I mean, that could have applied to a few people, but one, maybe one in particular. And I guess Stephen Gardner felt that was addressed to him. So he also responded to that. He said, to Pauline Davis, please don't ever speak on me ever, because you've never been an influential person to many of us athletes. You would love to see us suffer, and it shows. Oh, boy. You weren't in attendance during my warm-up, but you were the first to broadcast your loud and wrong remarks to spread lies and propaganda, which is pure evilness. But you'll be just all right. I'll pray for you just like others. Wow. So, sometimes it really does pay to have publicist, and so that they could take the phones away from you and say, no, I don't know if this is what you want to be doing. And boy. And that started something else. There were other athletes who came out and were back and forth in the comments on social media. It's just awful. The things people were saying, and it got very, very nasty. And absolutely not what you want to be seeing when we needed to be pulling for Team Bahamas and thinking about the way forward. So let's get into all of this, folks. Again, let's talk about the race with Devin. Let's talk about this back and forth nastiness here, and the performance in general of Team Bahamas. And clearly, we're not the only ones. Team Jamaica struggled a lot as well. Of course, they did win some medals, but rough time for them, especially with the legacy they have. But let's get your reaction to it. Deandra Cartwright is with us. Good morning, Deandra Cartwright.
Good morning, Dwight Strachan. How are you?
Great to have you in studio with us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
You look tanned and well, look like you had a very exciting weekend. Let's put it like that.
The Long Island gal was on the water. What can I
see.
say?
Yeah, we can see. We can see.
Well,
okay.
This is beautiful. At least you can see me getting some color.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, let's hear from this caller, and then we'll get your views on what's going on here. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Hi, doing well.
And good morning, Madam Cartwright.
Morning. How are you?
Wonderful. Dwight, this is the GNN. I speak truth. And let me tell you why. I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother sleep in the back of the bed with my grandmother. And my grandmother always told me that the truth needs no legs to stand on. The problem with Bahamian people is, if we like you, we lie for you. And if we don't like you, we lie on you. We need to learn to speak truth. Now, I said to you all on the nation last week, I love Stephen. Stephen is my boy. I've been watching Stephen from Stephen was training down in Moores Island, getting fish and buying conch and crawfish off the dock there in Moores Island with big nose and tones there. But Stephen has risen to the top, and Stephen is developing a bigger-than-life attitude. He needs to tone that down. Because listening to what Pauline said again this morning, she said nothing wrong, and she didn't single out anybody. I totally agree with you on her statement. But he is developing a much bigger-than-life attitude, and that is the truth. He never even said, did he say it, Dwight?
Yeah,
in his statement?
Yeah, I think they did say. I'm not in his statement, but I think the publicist said something. I can go back.
Okay, then. Okay. But he needs to tone that down, or else he can go nowhere fast, even though he's the best in the world. But I want just jump the gun here. You ever see our politicians and lawyers and stuff like that, Dwight, know the Constitution and sometimes speak the truth? No. I jumped the gun with the Port Authority thing. I don't think some of these politicians know what they're saying with reference to the rules and the regulations. Because if you rent something out to somebody, that person almost has, with the exception of paying attention to your business license for the country, that person almost has full autonomy, like the church, to do what they want to do. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Well, call back when we get into that a little bit later in the show. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we continue to get your reaction to Olympics and Team Bahamas and where we go from here and some of the drama we saw.
But you know what I was thinking on my way here? I know, and a few persons are reporting on this or speaking of it to say, oh, she's with Devin coming sixth again for the second time. There are literally only 5 persons in the world who got faster times than she at both Olympics. That is something that we, again, should be very proud of. Yes, we would have loved to see medals. We would have loved to see that. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge she is the 6th fastest person in the world for 2 consecutive Olympics. I mean, come on. I don't think we're giving her enough grace, right? And then I think what we're also, and hopefully we get into this discussion, and we spoke about this, our athletes need more support. Our athletes need more resources. Our athletes just need more. A lot of the work, and you, from her interview with Sheldon, you heard she said she's going to go back into training. Who takes up the training costs? Where do they train? The majority of them are not able to train here in our country, right? We don't have the necessary environments for that. Why are we not fostering it? Further than that, I think we spoke, this was 2 or 3 weeks ago, about doing what other countries do, which is basically, cultivate the younger folks, the children from a young age, find out what they like to do, what they're good at, and then we start that training program here. And only when we cannot facilitate that, then they can go to another country to have that further training. But when we take a step back, and I think that's honestly a part of where Gardner is coming from, where is the support? And those persons who have been in the public eye, no matter if it's in sports, politics, religion, wherever it may be, when Bahamians for you, they for you, but when they ain't for you, they ain't there. And if you ain't doing what they want you to do, they ain't got the time of day for you.
Right.
So it's almost like outside of the Olympics, where was the support? How do we keep, outside of races, where's the support for our athletes? Forgive me for my rant, but I'm like, are we looking at all sides of this?
All of us have to answer those questions, and we need to ask them of corporate Bahamas as well. I know there are some companies that are doing things, but definitely more needs to be done. But also, the government needs to find a better way to encourage corporate Bahamas to give back.
Do you know this is the first Olympics? Because, obviously everybody follows it, right? But I believe this is the first Olympics that I didn't see it in the headlines where Team Bahamas was saying they didn't have enough money. I really think that this is the first time in about 3, because I think it happened last time, the time before that, and the time before that, where they were like, where's the money? We need more money.
Don't speak too soon.
Don't speak too soon?
Yeah, don't speak too soon. You'll soon hear it.
Well, I'm just saying
that might be one of the excuses when they come back.
But that's what they were saying on the lead up. So I mean, if we didn't hear it from the lead up, but then again, where's the transparency? Who all gone again? Sorry.
But yeah, in other countries you get highly incentivized to donate to things like this, to sponsor things like this. You get tax breaks, you get all manner of things. But I don't know if that is what we do here.
I mean, we do it for other things. Why can't we do it for this? And then we tout sports as one of our main interests. So we put some infrastructure, despite it possibly not being well kept. But, that's something we can look into. I mean, the model already exists in other countries. We do similar things in different industries.
Yep.
So why not do something like that? It's similar to, when you say you want to train up a child in the way they want to go, the way that they should go, you have to provide them with what they need. And this is not a once every 4 years type thing. I think, what was it? Usain Bolt said he trained for how many years just to be able to perform in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing? I'm your guest.
Doing well.
Dwight, the Bahamian people, I think we are very ungrateful at a lot of things. Dwight, listen to this little quick story. I have a friend of mine that is training now to go to the Boston Marathon. She's been training now for years, but she wants to enter. Necessarily just to finish, she's already qualified to go to represent the Bahamas in the Boston Marathon. She wants to do it before she reaches 60, which will be next year. While you sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a call every morning. Says, Sparky, I'm leaving home now. She lives from up east and goes down to Lyford Key roundabout, 4 o'clock in the morning, and comes back up to up east Delhi to Yamacraw. She does that sometimes 3 times a week. Once a week she runs over both bridges, comes back home, does 3 miles one day, 8 miles the next day, 13 miles, and then 26.2 miles. Every week she does that religiously, training to get to the Boston Marathon. I say that to say this too, that we are ungrateful. I watched the nation of India come into Olympics, and they mentioned that India has the second largest population in the world, 2-point-something billion with a B, people. But they only had 100 qualified to get to the Olympics. I didn't hear them get 1 medal out of 2-point-something billion people. The nation of India didn't get 1 medal.
I don't think that's true, but
we have 400, not even 500,000 people. And we have more, we had almost per capita, we had more athletes that made it and qualified to go to the Olympics. And some of them qualified to get to different stages in the Olympics. Some got to the semi-qualified, the semi-finals, I don't know if we had anybody reach the finals, but I know we reached the semi-finals.
Devin was in the
But think about it per capita.
Yeah, we get it, and we need to be more grateful. But yes, Devin made it to the finals, and again, I mean, the best had to come to the decathlon. So they did. Yes, they had a lot of people doing very well and doing season's best, personal bests, and so that's amazing. Just for to be straight and to speak truth, India did win medals. They're not a powerhouse like China or the United States, but they won 6 medals. 1 silver, 5 bronze. Just so right? But yes, I think very good points you're making there. We're a tiny country, and we've done exceptionally well compared to countries that are much, much larger in the past. So, as he says, you need to be grateful for what we've achieved, and we know that better days are ahead. But that's what we want to talk about. How do we get there? What do we need to be doing? And as we've been saying all week, with the number of wacky, often ridiculous sports at the Olympics now, we could definitely diversify who we send to the Olympics, right?
Man, Dwight, you could go to do breakdancing.
No, not me. but somebody could. Somebody could. They got all kite surfing as well, apparently. Canoeing. Canoeing, not rowing. Canoeing.
Wow.
So come on. But anyway, so we got a whole lot of your text messages. Let's get into it. And you can continue to call 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This person says here, wow, for the first time since 1988, we have not received a medal. They don't need to bring the World Relays back to the Bahamas. Go put that funding into our athletes. Also, let's stop burning them out. Burning them out. Okay, this word shouldn't be here. Anyway, they are young. Right? Shelly Ann Fraser Price, I guess, is saying most decorated female sprinter or Elaine Thompson ever went to Carifta. I can't say for sure, but okay. It's really sad that in almost 40 years, no medals. I blame the minister and the government pumping money in the wrong places. Nail Ben, story end. Okay, well. This person says here, Pauline Davis continues to be negative and jealous, and as a senior person in the life of sports, Pauline's just wrong. She needs to stop this jealous and divisive spirit. Pauline says time to pass the baton. They did, and they did and didn't qualify. Pauline, okay, it's getting a little more bitter here and darker. But yeah, stop being divisive. That's a texter there saying that. This person says, let's stop the fooling around. I voted for the lotto. These politicians are full of crap. They pass laws for themselves. Financial services and doctors, the Moses crew, are the problem. What are these words? I'm never using my... Okay. Anyway, they're saying they voted for the lotto, and yeah, that is hurtful. It got more votes, although it failed. It got more votes than the numbers houses voting to regulate and regularize them. Yet, that's the one that doesn't exist, which is very, very bizarre. They both failed, but one got more votes. The one that got more votes still doesn't exist. What is that about? Explain that. Explain that to us.
We need that explained. We can't do that explained. But
and that was many administrations ago. New ones could have come in here and corrected this and said we're going to make sure all the money we raise goes towards sports and culture. They love to talk about the orange economy when they're in front of people who know what that is, but they don't do anything really about it. But this could be a way that you raise money for something.
Okay, listen, Dwight, I need you to keep in mind. Politicians tend to rely on the short memories of Bahamians. And that has served them for more administrations than I have been alive for. The thing is if we don't hold them accountable, then the cycle continues. And we've seen that time and time again. Now, with the age of social media, the internet, and things like that, then we can now document these things. Hey, a couple of years ago, you said this. A couple of years ago, the Bahamas government, regardless of the administration, said y'all were going to do this. Right. But you didn't. But then, Bahamian people, we tend to be scared to be saying certain things, too. So.
That is true. That is very, very much true. We'll take one more call before we have to take a break. But this person says here, good morning. I watched, I guess they were watching CBC, and I saw that RBC was sponsoring the Canadian team with a sport training school. These Canadian banks do this for that country, but do nothing for this country except not nice stuff they're saying. All right, so again, I think it comes back to the government and their incentives. I'm sure that RBC in Canada might love their athletes, but they're getting something out of it too. There will be incentives for them to do this kind of stuff. What are the incentives for a company to do that here? Do we have any?
I mean, on top of the recent increase in taxation.
Everything all they get is, I'm not defending them, I'm just saying, but all their costs are going up. And the electricity situation and crime situation, it's costing them a lot of money. Yeah. So what are we doing to entice them to spend more money on programs like this?
At this point, we have to convince them to try and stay.
Yeah, boy. Let's take this call, and then we're going to take the break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Deandra.
Morning.
Dwight and Deandra, could any one of you guys say how much? I know we just had a budget period for 2024, 2024 to 2025 budget, right? Just past July of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could anybody say, the Olympics was coming this year from last year, right? So what I feel is, right, we should have had a budget, right, that show that our leaders really care about our athletes and the sporting the sporting part of the Bahamas, right? Because I could almost be certain that the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, they didn't see no increase inside their budget period from that year to just to next year, right? And if that's a fact, right, then that shows you that our leaders are not interested in the sporting and the sports what we have in this country. This is why the people them have to go abroad to do what they have to do, right? And then once they win their goal, right, they our leaders and our people ask us if these people who were training or were pushed seriously inside this country, and it's becoming to be a very hypocritical situation, right? Mm-hmm. But I could almost be certain, right, that there was not 1 cent increase in the youth, sports and culture budget, knowing that they had to take part inside the Olympics this year, and that's all I really wanted to say.
Okay. All right. I can't say for sure. I can look. We can check it out.
I already have it.
You checking it up?
Yeah,
I knew you were going to be doing that. But again, should it rest entirely on the government? They've got a lot of things to do. I'm sure they can do better. They absolutely can. But we really need. I mean, the corporate world to come together and help. And we've got a lot of affiliates here, a lot of companies that are affiliated with the big companies in states that are sponsoring people in other parts of the world. A case needs to be made, and again, you need to incentivize these entities to do this, because the government can't do it alone. It cannot. You think how much money you think the U.S. government gives to U.S. athletes? I don't think that's happening. So you got to make it easier for companies to help them.
Oh, Dwight, when we come back, we got to talk about what these numbers look like.
All right, let's do that when we come back, and we want to read what Dramico Archer is saying. He's the president of the B3As. But we need to hear from the other sports bodies. What are you all saying? Why aren't you in the Olympics? What is the deal with all of y'all? Let's talk about it.
It's political, you know.
Is it?
Within the sporting group? Yes. They couldn't even agree on the whole mixed relay team
that's
situation.
a whole other story, but we'll talk about all that when we get back as well. Are we really serious here? Let's get into it. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Crack some joke inside her office. Compliment about her bongi. Say that look like the softness. Now it's 4 minutes to 5. He say, come miss, let me hug this. Then smell a sweet perfume. She say, you know that I love this. So if she need a ride, right there, shoulder to cry, right there, 100 or 5, right there, an apple pie. So if she need a ride, right there, shoulder to cry, right there, 100 or 5, right there, an apple pie. Some women know they boyfriend got 1 or 2 sweetheart, but she ain't freaking out because she got a white man. Some women know they husband got 1 or 2 sweetheart, but she ain't freaking out because she got a white man. Now here comes payday. What boyfriend is get frisky? Grab the woman by her hand and ask her if you miss me. She laugh and she say yes. Her laugh is so I'm geeky. He say let me wake you over time and I'll buy you what you need. She say boy you better stop. He say stop playing, come see me. She say man you know these co-workers is much more things down on TV. He say miss I is your boss, but I say they gon' believe me. Now call your man and tell him you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
And at 7:41, time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Some schools open next week, so this is your one last good week of smooth commuting on the streets of New Providence in the mornings, folks. Keep that in mind. Things will change next week. All right, so right now in real-time traffic, we're seeing Miles Butler Highway, just some traffic midway between Fire Trail and Tawny Glooms Darling Highway as you approach Harold Pond in the northbound lanes. You'll see a long line of traffic in front of you there. Some building traffic on Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road, and Blue Hill Road's congested for you southbound towards the junction with Soldier Road, and then northbound as you get over the hill to Independence Drive. East Street also looking busy for you as you approach the Independence Drive East-West Highway roundabout, and as you get closer to Marathon Robinson Road on East-West Highway. That intersection looking a bit busy for you as well. And then along Prince Charles Drive and Robinson Road at the major intersections, just a few cars ahead of you there. That's your real-time traffic for right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. It's time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a tropical wave moving westwards across the Caribbean Sea. That's going to produce some occasional bouts of showers and thunderstorms over portions of the southern Bahamas. For the rest of the country, a high-pressure ridge will promote typical summertime conditions through tonight. We've got a number of warnings, though. We've got a heat advisory in effect for the whole country. UV indices ranging from high to extreme. Everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities, keep hydrated, wear protective garments and sunscreen, and seek shaded areas when and where possible. Beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution. There's a moderate risk of rip currents affecting eastern and southern shorelines. And there's also the potential for localized flooding during heavy or prolonged downpours this morning. So for today, for the northwest and central Bahamas, we're looking at mostly sunny and hot conditions with isolated showers and the slight chance of a few but short-lived thunderstorms developing over the area by late afternoon. Expect conditions to become mostly fair and warm with a few lingering showers tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and warm with early morning showers and thunderstorms moving out of the area, moving west of the area. Expect a mix of sun and clouds, hot and breezy conditions with a few quick passing showers today, turning partly cloudy and warm tonight. Expect another wave of heavier showers and thunderstorms for the southernmost islands by late tonight. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but that heat index is going to make it feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a frontal boundary will move off the U.S. eastern seaboard and linger north of the area. That's going to produce weaker winds and elevated shower chances across portions of the islands throughout the next few days. Deteriorating sea conditions and air quality will be experienced across the southern Bahamas by late Wednesday due to the impacts associated with potential Tropical Cyclone 5. Everyone's being advised to keep updated on all of the notices from the Department of Meteorology on potential Tropical Cyclone 5. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But for tomorrow, Tuesday, partly sunny, hot, and locally breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday, a mix of sun and clouds, hot and humid with isolated to widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas. Mostly sunny, warm, and hazy with isolated showers in the southeast Bahamas. All right, so potential Tropical Cyclone 5. We're all watching this very closely. This disturbance is moving rapidly westwards, and a tropical storm watch has already been issued for Puerto Rico and nearby islands. As of 5 o'clock this morning, potential Tropical Cyclone 5 was about 645 miles east-southeast of Antigua. The system is moving towards the west near 25 miles per hour, and this motion is expected to continue with some decrease in forward speed during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, the disturbance is expected to move across portions of the Leeward Islands by tomorrow, Tuesday, and approach the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico Tuesday evening. Maximum sustained winds are near 30 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days, and the disturbance is expected to become a tropical storm as it nears the Leeward Islands. Now, it would appear that this system is going to take aim at the Bahamas, but what we're expecting is for this to make a turn to the north away from us as a result of some steering currents out there in the Atlantic and in the Gulf area. So this will take a turn we're expecting, and all the models are showing that right now, but we've got to continue to keep watching this just in case. We'll keep you posted here on the Guardian News Network. But that is your Morning Blend weather check. More on this in our weather check after the 8 o'clock news. We'll be back with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio in just a bit.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Craving something delicious and freshly made? Dunkin' has got you covered all day your way. From savory sausage, egg and cheese to crispy bacon, ham, and even tuna, our sandwiches are made to order just for you. Choose your favorite. Bagels, croissant, toast, or muffin. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's a classic grilled cheese or a hearty club, your perfect sandwich is just a bite away. Dunkin's fresh, made-to-order sandwiches made all day your way. Only at Dunkin'.
Ke ou kone si ou fe jem sida? Pa gen ouken rezon pou sa. Tesla gratis, eli konfidansyel. Ou kapab al fe Tesla gratis nan nepot kote sa yo mapal site la. Ale nan Clinic South Beach, Clinic Flamingo Gardens, Clinic Fleming Street, Clinic Elizabeth Estate, nan Grand L'Hôpital Princess Margaret, avec nan Centre Vivi Sida Jardin Royal Victoria. Epi, Tesla gratis, eli konfidansyel nan klinik ki nan zile yo tou. Ki sa wap tan? Li bon pou kone si ou fe jem sida. Al fe Tesla.
A message from the Pan-American Health Organization and the HIV/AIDS Center, Ministry of Health.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information.
Let's face it, life is hard, but your healthcare doesn't have to be. Give yourself peace of mind with LAMP plans at Doctors Hospital. Sign up today and enjoy the low-cost advantage. Get up to $5,000 in credit limit for non-covered services and 2 free nutritional consultations. Choose your plan today by visiting doctorshosp.com/lamp. We make healthcare easy.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC.
We ship also to the Family Island.
Summer may be ending, but the party is just getting started at Nassau Cruise Port. Don't miss our Summerfest All-Star Bahamian Concert on Saturday, August 17th at the Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater. Enjoy electrifying performances by Abby, Sweet Emily, Elon Moxie, The Mighty Pencil, Shad Colley and the VIPs, Blotty, and more. Best of all, it's free. Gates open at 4 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Grab your crew, bring your vibes, and let's end this summer in true Bahamian style.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Mr. Driver, bring that big bus here. Yes, ma'am. Oh, shucks. Mr. Bus Driver, I heard about your bus. How you drive it careful and never do you rush. Yes, the ride is nice and everything is smooth. The atmosphere is friendly and the music it ain't rude. I heard you pay attention, you read all the signs. I could use a driver like you all the time. Yes, right then I felt a big drop, man. What was that? Oh no, I can't believe it. He was tire flat. So Mr. Bus Driver, I'm getting off. I'm getting off. I'm getting off. It's been such
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. We're talking about the Olympics, Team Bahamas, how we did, how we didn't do, what we didn't do, what we need to do to improve before LA in 2028. All right, so caller, we'll get to you in just a second. Before you want to get to the call first, and then we come to you, Deandra, about the budget for Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. And Deandra has some interesting numbers. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Very pleasant good morning, Dwight, and a pleasant good morning, Deandra.
Hi.
I am calling, first of all, to commend the Olympic team on the efforts. And I think they're grateful for the service that they gave and the effort that they put into training to make it possible to represent our country. However, I have a concern in regards to funding. There's a talk of being short on funds, right? And I think it was sometime in between 2012, 2017, I might be wrong with the date, the government granted, they legalized gambling, which placed the funds into the hand of a select group of persons. I think it was about 10 licenses they issued. And since then, we know that significant funds are being accomplished by these persons. The government of one state tried to get some of these funds from these persons, even though the Bahamian people voted against legalizing gambling. However, despite the shortage of funds which could go towards funding that's lacking in sports, funding that's lacking in education, no significant effort has been made to get into these funds that can assist athletes for training, because training required. We may blame the athletes and say, oh, they did not come back with a medal. But they need training, which requires funding for the positions, for the supplements, this kind of stuff. But I'm wondering why maybe that government has refused to tap into the source of these merchants who are legalized gambling, making significant money, to assist the general public. Maybe you can help me with that.
All right, so they are receiving money from them. They are taxed, but the previous administration was trying to get more, and that became a very contentious issue.
Question, please. I know the only tax I know of them getting is a tax for license. Do you know of another form of taxing they put in the Treasury?
Yeah, they're getting more. We'll get to that. We'll go through that a bit as well. But the government was seeking more, and it didn't quite work out there. But this is what we were talking about earlier, right? That one, they both in the referenda, which suddenly became an opinion poll once it didn't go the way the government thought it would. The number of people who voted positively wanted to regulate the number industry. That was fewer people voted for that than for the lottery. And yet here we are all these years later still without the lottery. And you could have directly earmarked everything every bit of profit you made from that to sports, to culture, to education. You could have done that. That is how it's done in many other parts of the world. We would not have these shortfalls that we have. You would not be struggling as much as we struggle. And we would not be just giving lip service to the orange economy that we do when it's convenient. But yes, you're right. Instead of doing something like the lottery, they decided to make some people extremely wealthy and made it so that nobody else could enter the industry, which to this day, I don't know if anyone's challenging this. It doesn't make any sense. It's really, really bizarre, that whole chain of events there. And we just sat back and allowed it to happen. Like, oh, well. Oh, well. The Six call really quickly. The answer's right now. Lots of notes. So this is going to be quite a bit. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Doing well.
I'm thankful that we were able to make it to the Olympics. Disappointed that we did not medal because we're used to medaling. And I would like to also suggest that we can broaden our Olympic coverage, or not coverage, or experience games by perhaps even maybe trying table tennis and other things. And I will also want to say that it's a little more than just money. We need more volunteers and more volunteers and also commitment to assist in the process and a lot of work. But we are thankful that those who made the finals, the heats, they are ranked in the world. But just we are used to having medals. And so it's what you call a wake-up call, and then we can plan that's in California.
Okay. All right. Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, Deandra, how are we looking over there? We got a couple minutes worth to go to the news. So you've got
a couple minutes is all I need.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Great. So we pulled up the 24-25 budget document, which also includes, summary of agencies. I'm going to just give the topical figures, right? So we're going to look at recurrent expenditures across the board, but particularly for the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. Mm-hmm. So if I don't explain this, again, I'm not a financier, I'm reading what I see, and then we can talk about what it actually means, right? When it comes to the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, and again, this is on page 40 of that document, the provisional actual expenditure for 22-23 was $30,683,752. The expenditure provisional for July 23 to March 24 dropped $24,257,987. The approved estimates for that same period, 23-24, they didn't put the months for that one, was $26,706,494. Now, the estimates for 24-25 are being projected as $25,558,309. And then it basically maintains that same $25 million mark, just goes up about $200,000 for the year 25-26, and then another $2 million for 26-27. So that's for the entire ministry. What I find very interesting about this, though, is if we go around to, and I hear the music.
Yeah.
Right? If we go,
you want to save it for when we get back?
No, we have to, because
save it for when we get back. We're going to go to the news, and then I'm also going to pull up some numbers for that caller about what the gaming industry has to pay to the government taxes.
We'll
be back
numbers
after
today,
the
yes.
news.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And right now at 8:21, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's going on. We've got a tropical wave moving westwards across the Caribbean Sea. That's going to continue to produce occasional bouts of showers and thunderstorms over portions of the southern Bahamas. For the remainder of the country, a high-pressure ridge will promote typical summertime conditions through tonight. We've got a heat advisory in effect for the whole country, and UV indices are expected to be in the high to extreme range. Everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities, wear sunscreen, and seek shaded areas where and when possible. Beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution. There's a moderate risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines, and everyone's being advised that there could be flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas during heavy downpours this morning. For the northwest and central Bahamas, your forecast calls for mostly sunny, hot chance of a few but short-lived thunderstorms developing over waters by late afternoon. Expect conditions to become mostly fair and warm with a few lingering showers tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and warm with early morning showers and thunderstorms moving west of the area. Expect a mix of sun and clouds and breezy conditions, hot as well, with a few quick passing showers turning partly cloudy and warm tonight. Expect another wave of heavier showers and possible thunderstorms in the southernmost islands by late tonight. Temperatures today, highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like it's 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook, a frontal boundary will move off the U.S. eastern seaboard and linger north of the islands, producing weaker winds and elevated shower chances across portions of the country throughout the next few days. Deteriorating sea conditions and air quality will be experienced in the southern Bahamas by late Wednesday due to the impacts associated with potential Tropical Cyclone 5. Everyone's being advised to keep updated on all issuances from the Department of Meteorology on that system. More on that in a moment. For tomorrow, Tuesday, partly sunny, hot, and locally breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday, look for a mix of sun and clouds, hot and humid conditions, and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the northwest Bahamas, central islands as well. Mostly sunny, warm, and hazy with isolated showers in the southeast Bahamas. With potential Tropical Cyclone 5, we are watching this system closely. The disturbance is moving rapidly westward, and the tropical storm watch is already in effect for Puerto Rico and nearby islands. As of 5 o'clock this morning, that system was about 645 miles east-southeast of Antigua. The system is moving towards the west near 25 miles per hour, and the motion is expected to continue with some decrease in forward speed during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, the disturbance is expected to move across portions of the Leeward Islands by Tuesday and approach the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico by Tuesday evening. Maximum sustained winds are near 30 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days, and the disturbance is expected to become a tropical storm as it nears the Leeward Islands. So on this forecast track, it is expected to take a turn after passing Puerto Rico by Wednesday and be about parallel with the Bahamas by Thursday and head north away from us, but we still need to monitor this system closely. We'll keep you posted here on the Guardian News Network with the very latest on that. But that is your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC in your real-time traffic. Not much to talk about out there this morning. Our final last week of manageable commutes in the morning. Some schools are reopening next week, and it just will go downhill from there. But right now, we're seeing in your real-time traffic the roundabout with Tonic Williams-Darling Highway and Milo Butler Highway. Seeing some congestion in a number of areas. So northbound on Milo Butler Highway, westbound on Tonic Williams-Darling Highway, and exiting the roundabout into Harold Road if you're heading westbound. But definitely manageable at this time. Blue Hill Road near Carmichael, a bit of congestion there, and just north of the hill, Independence Drive, you're going to be seeing some cars in front of you there. Then we've got Robinson Road and Prince Charles Drive. At some of the major intersections, we'll be seeing some congestion there. Robinson Old Trail, Robinson and East-West Highway Marathon, and Prince Charles Drive and Beatrice Avenue. Beatrice Avenue and Charles Saunders Highway as well, especially eastbound on Charles Saunders Highway. That's about it. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
Shelley, Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp,
clays.
stew shrimp, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
RBC. RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Yes, the ride is nice and everything is smooth. The atmosphere
We're back with Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeAndrew Cartwright on this Monday morning. We're talking Olympics, talking about Team Bahamas, talking about what needs to be done. We're very proud of everybody. To make it to this point is amazing, of course. As DeAndrew pointed out, there's all these billions of people in the world. And these folks are in the top 10, top 20 in the world and everything they did. We have to be proud of this. Yes, we're a little disappointed about the medals. No medals, first time since 1988.
Maybe it's the wake-up call we needed.
Maybe. And we're trying to figure out what we need to do after waking up, right? So you had some numbers here. Let's get through these numbers really quickly because there's a whole lot. We don't want to overwhelm people on this Monday.
I know have available to them. And then I think the point that we were making earlier in the show, you will see why that's so important. So according to the same budget document, and again, if you are interested, it's page 141 of 277. It's a very comprehensive document. It's about the size of a phone book if you printed it out, if I recall. So, and this is line item 2821102, aid to student athletes. And I know, Dwight wants me to focus on this year, last year, next year, but I really got to bring this home. $0
for student athletes.
For student
this
athletes.
Is in this current fiscal year or last fiscal year?
So this is, again, we're looking at those two numbers. Provisional actual expenditure for 22-23 was $0. The expenditure provisional for July of 23 to March of 24 was $0, right? We're looking at the approved estimates for 23 to 24, $16,000. And that same $16,000 continues as estimates for 24, 25, 25, 26, and 26, 27. $16,000 is all that is allocated for student athletes in the budget of for the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now, if we drop down to the immediately following, and this is line 2821103, subvention of elite athletes. Now, of course, it's not going to tell us what's the difference between a student athlete and an elite athlete, and we'll get into that a little after this. The provisional actual expenditure for 22-23 was $1,356,524. The provisional expenditure for July of 23 to March of 24 was $1,012,306. And then when we're looking at the approved estimates, and if you heard me just then, I said provisional expenditure versus the approved estimates. The estimate was $1,400,000, and that same figure will remain for 24, 25, 25, 26, and 26 to 27. So if you look at this, and this was the point that we were making before, and we have the numbers to back it up. Student athletes get $16,000, and that's all of them. Get $1,400,000, and that's available to all of them. We can't even begin to describe the disparity between those numbers. And I think those who are in
we're not saying the elite athletes should get less, but definitely more needs to be done for the student athletes so they can become elite athletes.
Because the thing, as we were talking throughout the break, come on now. In order to get to elite status, you have to train, you have to qualify, you have to participate in meets. And these meets happen all over the world, right? And you have to qualify so many different times in order to be considered, quote unquote, elite. And that, again, it depends on which definition of elite you're going by and whose body you're being governed by, that sort of thing, right? But if your country is saying that they only got $16,000 available for student athletes, and we still don't even know if they mean the college level, the high school level, what are we talking about, right? Because the majority of if we look at our Olympians, for the most part, they would have been either current or immediately former college students, for the most part, right? 16,000, you got 16 students. That's $1,000 each. What is that supposed to do? How are you helping me? Which is why some of the athletes, they say they're doing it on their own because they have to. But again, this is only what we see in that document. We don't know what else is being done because I found another curious line inside it that says other, and it has a very long number associated with it, but no description.
Yeah. Wow. All right, let's get your reaction to that, folks. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. You can call us toll free as well, 242-300-5720. Again, to the caller before the break about saying that as far as he knows, the numbers houses only paying business taxes, that's crazy. But they are definitely paying money based on the gross gaming revenue. And it's supposed to be putting some money aside for community and charitable causes as well. So there's definitely more than that. But we are saying that we have more proof now than ever before that we need a dedicated lottery. And Deandra and I were talking about this off air. Maybe not. I don't know how we can do it. Maybe it can't be national. I don't know. Maybe it should be, would help to bring a boost to the economies of certain islands. So you only have it in certain places and make people travel there to buy the tickets.
Right.
And we imagine what that could do. But we've got to do something. And again, earmark any profit, all of it, to sports, culture, education.
And think
Right?
about
Not to making people wealthy or so they can build mansions in
Multiple.
gated communities and travel over the world, whatever they want. No, the sole purpose is for funding, for education, the arts, and sports.
and perhaps giving Bahamians access to an industry, an entertainment aspect.
Yeah.
I mean,
the orange economy that they always talk about.
Yes,
but
yes,
we've got
yes.
no evidence that there's real support for it.
I mean, there's support, just not for everyone to do it.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, support
It's there.
from we the people who go and take part in these things, but is the government really there? And that's
I
the
think it
problem.
goes back into holding the government accountable, and we don't do that enough. But I would also say it's difficult to hold the government accountable in the absence of information. But in this particular situation, it's clear. You had a referendum, then you call it an opinion poll, and then you say you don't want to go do this, but you'll do it for a certain group of folks.
You do the one that
And-
got the fewer votes.
Right? And it's that one thing as opposed to
But that's typical, right? That's what we'd expect to happen in the Bahamas, right? And because that's what we would do,
I'm gonna
which
say,
is insane.
I still have hope. I want to keep hope alive.
Nice. Must be nice. Let's read these text messages. Got a whole lot. Boy, are you gonna be hopeful after hearing this? I cry shame on the Bahamas Olympic Committee because I feel that they were so focused on sending injured athletes and 16-year-olds that they lost the object of the Olympics, which is to win and not just to compete. Please tell Deandra that being the 6th fastest simply isn't good enough.
Oh.
We are golden girls and boys. Simple. Wow.
That ain't good enough. Listen, I really need us to also keep in mind these persons are athletes. Y'all heard me just say the numbers that clearly ain't lining up to what their budgets actually are. And y'all could try say that it ain't good enough. So the one chance that we have, using Devin as an example, the one chance we have to actually try and medal potentially or whatnot, and we heard, if you listen to the interview, there was a technicality that occurred on that particular race that may have impacted her performance. Grace, right? But you want to discourage, because when you say things like that, it is discouraging. They're already pulling this out of their own pockets, their school's pockets or whatnot, to try and train to get to a world stage. In most cases, they didn't get the support they needed from the country they represent. Come on, man. Do better. Be better.
Well, the texter goes on. I feel that we need to start migrating Chinese and Americans to the Bahamas. Quality immigrants instead. Oh my God. Okay.
Dwight, don't
I
read
can't
the rest of that. I'm so sorry. That's just
I can't read the
derogatory
rest
on
of
the
it.
whole. Like, no.
What
No.
the? This is terrible.
And there's more.
Oh no.
Is it saying something bad about me? Because I was like,
No,
this is the
not
first
about
one
you,
anyway.
but just
Yay.
about everyone else in the entire world.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's really that's just hate. Hate speech there, texter. Okay. Your earlier caller made a great point, but was factually incorrect. India, I corrected them. India did win medals. Yeah. Okay. This person says here, the gaming boys don't want the government to have a lottery, and the government is going to side with them. That's where they get their campaign funds from. Yeah.
Do we have campaign transparency as yet?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, laughable.
Sorry, if it's quite possible, because we're talking about the BOC, right? BOA, my bad, because it's like how many of those
No, it's
different
C
entities?
now.
It's C?
C now.
But it's two of them.
There
right?
was an A, but
Right.
it's a C now.
But it's two of them.
No. No more A, I'm told.
No, but the two were fighting.
But the recognized one is a C.
Okay, so the two of them were fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, but the
Yeah. BOC. Okay. Get with it.
Get with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I looking at the document that where the government said they sent them
BOA is
money.
boa constrictors, sucking the life out of things.
Okay, right.
Mhm.
So looking at page 141, is that the document that was released by the government? I don't know if they got the memo that it ain't BOA anymore, but BOA.
Oh,
is
they're
listed
saying that in there?
BOA
Oh,
is in there,
no.
so I want to really call again, this change that you talk about may have happened in the last 2 weeks. I don't know.
No.
Like 2 months?
Mm-mm.
Long time ago?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yee.
So line, I'm just going to read off all the numbers so you all know where I come from. Line item 28, 21, 21, 2, Bahamas Olympic Association. They only get $55,000.
Now, you see, they might still be getting that, because I don't know. But what does the BOC get?
No, they're not listed. That's what I tell you.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, now
They're not-
you've just stumbled into something. We just get out of that. Woo. Sending something to a strange account. Oh boy. Anyway, I endorsed the lotto concept. That's a way. This is text. That's a way to put sporting facilities on the Family Islands to reach and train more athletes. Eleuthera produced Chris Brown. That made us proud on the world stage. But the kids in Eleuthera are still running on grass.
Man, I was home on Long Island trying to put my miles in and whatnot. I had to go to Lower Dedmond C Primary. The track is tar. At least they got a track. It's tar.
Tar
At
is
NGM,
better than concrete.
right, for bouncing, right?
Yeah,
But you go
tar.
down to NGM. You know, track. You got to go on the road. You're going out to the coastline or whatever like that to get those miles in if you
Running
need
on
to
the
run
beach
that.
is good.
So we don't have our students, and we talked about this months ago, Dwight. Our students around the islands don't have the same opportunities. You know, like it depends on where you are. The resources differ.
Yeah.
And I don't think we, especially persons from New Providence, we don't think like that because it's what we know, what we have access to. And then sometimes, and I think that years ago that they were making this this comparison with the Jamaican athletes and say that they run so much better because they have the hills or they have a rougher start or whatnot like that. Like they didn't have the fancier things to train with or whatnot like that. So are we saying that, the struggle that our Family Island family members and thing go through would make them better athletes?
Keep it. Yes, exactly. Apparently. Must be it. Boy, this texter says here, Dwight, please stop defending the government. Again, I wasn't defending the government. I was saying by itself, and that corporate Bahamas needs to step up, or that we would need something like a lottery. That's what I've been saying all morning. But I'm saying they can't do it on their own.
But look at the numbers. They're not doing it on their own. They're not.
Clearly.
But also, I will say this, and I think, who was it that said it? I think, was it Stevie when because he had multiple posts, right? And then a lot of persons were saying that we didn't even know if persons would show up because it wasn't due to qualifying times through whatever the BOA were doing appointments is because of what they do.
BOC.
The organization, whatever they call it, the entity, right? That it's because they got placement in other ways, right? They don't need to go through the people here if they already placing on the world level. So that's another part of this. We are thinking the entity or the government has so much of a say in this, but if these persons, again, have put in the work on their own, they literally only need us for the flag.
Wow. Give us a call, folks, 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Caller, 1 second. The texter goes on. Stop defending the government. We know that the government spends money where they want, and this government is spending in a lot of wrong places, from luxury trips and vehicles to giving money to friends, family, and lovers. Wow. When people who have dedicated their lives to this country have to fight for their rights, including retired contracted police officers. When the settling cases with the former politicians, senior police officers, and senior government officials go on and on and on. Okay, well, that's from a personal standpoint, it seems there, that text. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning. That's Miss Cartwright?
Yes, it is. Good morning.
How are
Okay,
you?
Poppy, good morning again. Let me. When she says 16,000 for the athlete and 1 million, she mean each or for all together?
For all.
The 16,000 for all the students?
All student athletes. That's what the number says inside
Not
the budget
each?
document.
Not each?
It doesn't say each, no, because that's the total number that's been allocated within the budget for
The
that
share
particular
between all
line
of
item. For all of them. So if you have 16, they only getting 1,000 each. If you got 32, they only getting 500 each, and the number goes down the more persons apply for it. And also, we don't know how they apply for it. We don't know if they're just given it.
Even enough for the top athletes for all the training and moving around. I don't know. That ain't sound sense. But Dwight, you when you come on this morning, you was talking about what Wayne Monroe had to say and what Brave Davis had to say, but the Port Authority, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in our 9 o'clock hour. We're going to get to the port and what the Prime Minister had to say in our 9 o'clock
with
hour.
the lottery. I say yes to the lottery, and we need business persons, small business persons like me, others, big business persons, to contribute to the athletes more and assist the government and help the government. I know a lot of people, business people, who used to help over the years. One of the persons is Edward Penn from Penn Building Square, the renovation man. I think he passed away yesterday. He used to always help out with the athletes and with, I don't know, with the Olympic Association, but I know with the athletes. I don't know if it's individually or as a group. People like Samuel 90 Knowles, all of those persons was helping. When we're getting all them golds and silver. So that's 36 years or 32 years since we've been in this position. You say from 1988, I'll hang up and listen time.
Yeah. With the 1992 Olympics until now.
Again, I'm going to call this a wake-up call.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to term it.
Well, let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hi, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
I'm DeAndre. How are you?
As good as can be. And yourself?
I'm good.
Good.
As I listen to you, you often talk about you are a Long Islander.
I think
I
so.
have a lot of friends, personal good friends from Long Island. And they are listening to the chat. Some of your uncles, some of your relatives, etc. But as you speak and you say you are a Long Islander, I am hearing you talking more theory and what practical you see, as you alluded to that grew up in Long Island as a little girl. I know the history very well about the Long Islander. And I am sure that I am right, that more practical was practiced than the theory that is being taught in our country than what practical. Am I right on that or wrong?
I'm trying to follow you.
We're very
What
lost.
do you mean by practical and theory? In which regard?
You're trying to follow me?
Trying.
I am trying to follow, but I don't know when you say theoretical and practical.
Or maybe what's the overall point you're trying to make? What are you trying to say?
The point what I'm trying to make is this. If I know the history well about Long Islanders, my friends, they are listening. When they talk about anything getting done in Long Island, they make that happen in the practical. Would you agree?
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no. Okay, so if you could talk that way, yes. Okay, you saying it that you said it very
come on,
beautiful
DeAndre,
way.
come on now, let's go. Would you agree?
So
yes or no?
I just want to make sure Dwight also follows us.
No, don't worry about Dwight. Man, I and you talking. Would you agree?
I want other people to follow that too.
Yeah, because the two of you wouldn't have a conversation. You could call her.
He is saying that Long Islanders ain't much about the talking. We could do it.
Okay.
That's what he's saying in a very beautiful way.
Great.
DeAndre, I've listened
At
to you
least
and
I
I've
think
been
so.
following your show. And it appeared to me,
Okay.
if you were talking about the structure that you grew up in Long Island, though, you now practicing more theory and what practical that was practiced in Long Island. And it seems like you caught up now with this liberal vibe.
What?
I know enough history to know that Long Islanders make things happen. Would you agree?
How you matching that with being liberal,
What does that have to
though?
do with
And
the
how
other?
you matching that without people doing something practically? I really
All right.
lost at this point.
Is this related to what we're talking about with the Olympics? I mean, what are you trying
We're
to say?
talking about
Just
the Olympics.
is that what you're saying? What are you
We
saying?
are talking about the Olympics. What's happening in this country in terms of, I remember, listen to me, and Dwight, I hope you will do. I will give you a suggestion. I'm not trying to direct your show. But there's a great sport minister that still is alive. His name is Kendall Norwich, and I believe that he is listening to this show. I would ask you, please, I would suggest to you, get him on your show, I believe, and have a conversation on sports, on terms of when we used to defeat Jamaica. Not talking theory. We practiced the practical on how to do it. We had that girl from Foxhill called Chanel Ferguson, I think it was. Chanel, am I calling her name right? And some more names.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But if you can't do it, I'm suggesting, because I've been rebelling from calling your show. Try to get the minister, Kendall Norwich, who I believe, in my view, was the best sports minister this country has ever had. Didn't talk theory. He get it done in the practical.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll take that into consideration. I think that will be a challenge for him, though. But also, I do think it's time to look to the future and to look, because we can't do some of the things we did back in the past. This is a different world. It's a totally different country. And it's time for us to look forward now. But I hear you. Thank you very much for that.
I was just saying that we've had one whole show, because I think I didn't get dragged the week before that, where there's nobody coming after me. The man just insulted my Long Island heritage.
Well, he said I don't know what with the
I've
liberal
become
thing
liberal.
is. I don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. But anyway, okay.
I had to double check my phone and be like, look at my Long Island Association of Sailing Club people come to me like, DeAndre, what you talking about?
Theory is liberal talk?
I think he's saying that, I ain't calling for the people to say dude, but that's all we've been saying. I mean, what else you want me to do? I'm not in the position to make these things happen.
Start a lottery, apparently, and go make your own track. Get
How
Mondo,
about we
bring
stop-
Mondo in to do the track right there in Deadman's Key. We don't need to wait for nobody.
Listen, anyway.
Boy, okay. Here's...
I am stunned.
I support it.
Support what?
Go, yeah. Let's do it. Let's stop waiting. Let's do our own thing. That's what these people, those guys weren't waiting for laws and whatever. They did their own thing, and look where they are now. We got to do it. I hear him. I agree. No more liberal foolishness. Let's do it. Anyway, here's the text. Why are they not coming forward with how much funds were spent for the 50th independence celebrations last year? Okay.
Ooh, let's see if we can find that.
Good luck. Anyway, Dwight, there are some people who always succeed when they are in charge. Algernon Cargill should take over the Olympic Committee. He knows how to get the funding. He's with the Swim Federation. The lottery isn't the problem. It's the people who don't know how to manage funding and a decent sports program. Okay, that's two different things. You could do that, manage it better, but also a lottery would really, really, really help. So we could do the two things, can't we? This person says that we really need to separate sports and culture. They should be separate and allocate funds for each industry or each sector, you're saying. Yep, okay. Another one says here, I think that a national lottery should be put in place to support sports and education. Right now, it is not about helping the youth. Well, they're not doing anything with that. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I would like to say it's a very, very timely topic. However, what is needed most in this country is the respect of our athletes. And that is not when they get to the medal podium, prior to going. For example, the young people who are selected as athletes need to be given the whole 9 yards. And that is to ensure, as they become representatives of this country, they are firstly they're given the, oh my goodness, they're first given the authority to carry on as an athlete. Secondly, to ensure that these young people are identified as such. Thirdly, they are the future. So let us treat them with the respect that they have gotten. Let us give them, as representatives of this country, the tools and the recognition of such.
Okay, absolutely.
We need to do a whole lot more for them. Do not let them sleep. Recognize them and allow them to become what they ought to be.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your call this morning. Let's read some more text messages here. You can continue to text us, 422-323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Good morning, Dwight. Good show. But you are defending the government. The government can provide money for the athletes. They have money for everything else. The taxes come from the people. Therefore, the money, they should spend money on the Bahamian people. No excuses for the government. I hear you, and I'm not defending the government. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying they can't do it all. As you heard, the numbers that DeAndre is providing, a whole lot more can be done. And so, as previous texters have said, corporate Bahamas in other countries where they are represented, they do a whole lot more for their athletes, for everybody. And it's not quite the same here. Yes, they're functioning under a more challenging, perhaps, working business environment. But we're not seeing, and this is where the government comes in, we're not seeing the incentives for them to do some of the things that we're seeing in other jurisdictions. And so, yes, the government can do more, but not necessarily in terms of the money. But allow for a space for lotteries. Allow for companies to get some tax breaks if they provide funding to athletes or whatever it is. And maybe they can give more money, sure, but it can't all be about them. That would be very dangerous. Very dangerous. You would look like you've discovered something. What's going on here?
I found the numbers, but I don't think
For what?
that's
This
the
is
numbers.
for the independence thing?
I don't think that's the numbers.
I guarantee it's not.
It says the National Independence Secretariat for 22-23 was 147,633. And then the 23-24 provisional expenditure was 44,854, with the estimate being 150,000. And I see $0 allocated for the Independence Secretariat for 24-25, 25-26, and 26-27. And those are forecasts.
Yeah, that's not it. Okay. This text says, Andros should be the training ground for athletes. Okay, I mean, you could, or every island could be, right? Every island could be. Why not? This person says, I personally think it's sad that we don't sponsor and assist our athletes. Sports is big business, and we seem to miss the ball on how to tap in. We need a model using past athletes, past coaches, and find ways to fund. This is relatively easy. Do a national lottery, please. The lotto is a great idea. However, we know the established numbers houses companies won't want that because if they aren't in control of it. Well, it's a lot of things that people don't want, and it happens. Oh, well. This person says, money isn't the solution. Remember the $13 million spent on the Grifter Games held here at the cost of $500,000? What? Something else is wrong. If you all think the illegal gaming people are going to let go of their blood-sucking profits, oh boy, good luck. Oh, wow. All the government will do is change all the signs from XYZ. No. Oh boy, well, I'm a texter. I'm not going to read these here. And they're pointing out how many people are who are involved in certain businesses are currently ambassadors for the country, so don't count on it, basically is what they are saying.
Oh my.
Well, that previous caller is stuck in the past. Everywhere Yeah, okay. Another one. First time, long time listener. I was compelled to text this morning after hearing the text from the person who downplayed the significance of Devin Charlton placing sixth.
Thank you.
Please let's not allow these uninformed or misinformed individuals to get away with such idiocy. There are more than 8 billion people on planet Earth. She's the sixth fastest in her specialty, and I will leave it at that. Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier.
That's what we've been saying. I applaud you, Texter. Thank you. There is. Yeah. See?
Again,
right, there's
everybody,
There's hope.
These people were in the top 10 or top 20 of all their disciplines. It is amazing. And athletes who weren't maybe in that still did personal best or country records. So this
they got
is
to qualify
very,
for
very
the Olympics.
Yeah,
Just
very, very
getting
special.
there. Getting to that point requires a lot. And I think special shout outs again to Ken Mullings for number 13.
Yeah,
Come on.
pretty
And
amazing.
the first time and homegrown and home trained.
Yep.
His story shows resilience. It shows dedication, discipline. Come on, man. And from our very own university, come on.
University of the Bahamas. This final text as we go to the news, the person says, it's clear that we don't have majority rule when the government holds a referendum and we vote no, yet the government ignores our vote and allows the opening of gambling houses rather than starting a national lottery that could have financed education and sports and social development. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. This person says here, I think that a national lottery should be put in place to support sports and education right now. It's not about helping the youth. People would rather help the Bahamian children or maybe 1 out of 100 to win a number. We have to be the change. Okay. I think we kind of understand what you're saying there. Hey, let's go to the news. When we come back, we're going to get into the latest comments from the Prime Minister about Grand Bahama and the Port Authority and the power company and what's going on there. The Prime Minister says there aren't two governments in the Bahamas. Certain people certainly seem to think so, though. We're going to get into all of that. When we get back, this is Morning Blend on a Monday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, don't play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game, so put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Live has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive Get Extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deal.
Calling all young champions, supportive sidekicks, and wise mentors. Are you ready to unleash your back-to-school super high into John Bull Business Center? Gear up and enjoy a super 20% off all school supplies and 10% off on teaching aids. And that's not all. With every purchase now through September 7th, enter to win a $3,000 shopping spree. Zoom in to John Bull Business Center today and gear up like a true super student.
Shop early to get your uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's Buy 4 Get 1 free sale.
Pre-monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys' long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back-to-school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back-to-school special. Restrictions apply.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice. It's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, August 12th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with DeAndre Cartwright on this Monday morning. And we are talking about the Grand Bahama issue. Grand Bahama Port Authority and the power company and the Prime Minister speaking out now about their request to have an electricity rate increase for GBPC customers. And again, taking shots at the Grand Bahama Port Authority and claiming that the government is going to secure the growth of Freeport's economy. We're going to get to all of this. Lots of stories in today's Nassau Guardian about this. So the first story from our Tanika Thompson. Unreasonable, that's the headline. PM fires back at GBPA. Prime Minister Philip Davis said on Friday that Grand Bahama Power Company, GBPC, and their request for an electricity rate increase is unreasonable. Davis also hit out of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and its assertion that it is the sole licensor and regulator for all utilities in Freeport. Davis says under the law, there is only one regulator with the power to approve a rate increase, and that regulator is IRCA, the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority. He was referring to a new Electricity Act that was passed earlier this year, which establishes IRCA as the only regulator in the country's energy sector. However, GBPA has asserted its rights as the regulator for electricity for Grand Bahama, citing its powers as outlined in the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. So, on the sidelines of an event on Friday, the Prime Minister was asked what message he has for Grand Bahamians considering the conflicting statements from both parties. The Prime Minister said, quote, "The message I have is this, that we only have one Bahamas. We don't have two governments. And there's a quasi-element to governance in the Port Authority, which we are now addressing. And we will be dealing with that in due course." Let's hold on right there. Let's read that again. We don't have two governments, and there's a quasi-element of governance in the Port Authority, which we are addressing. And we will be dealing with that in due course. Okay, we'll come back to what that means. At the moment, we have passed the Electricity Act, and we expect the laws of the land to be complied with. GBPC is seeking a 6.3% increase in the base rate for electricity. Just 2 years ago, the company was granted approval by GBPA, the Port Authority, for a 3.4% increase to the base rate. Prime Minister Davis says there is no justification for another rate increase at this time. He says, quote, "This seems to be, on the face of it, rather unreasonable. I don't know what case they are making for it, but from what I can see, there's no basis for any further increases in electricity. Know what's happening in New Providence. Electricity is going down, consumption is up, but rates are down." Got to slam brakes again here because that's what y'all are saying, but we haven't seen any evidence to support that as yet. Of course, the new bills will be out soon, and we will know this week if there's anything to that, but most of us are seeing, they said it would happen in July. So we'll get the bill this month for July, and then we'll be able to tell. But let's not talk too fast here. Anyway, back to the story. A legal fight is underway in the Supreme Court regarding GBPA's rights under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. GBPA said in a statement last week, quote, "As is well known, the GBPA has extensive rights under the Hawksbill Creek Report Area. GBPA maintains that by virtue of the powers vested in it by the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, it has always been and still is the sole exclusive licensor and regulator for all utilities in the port area. It does so in relation to electrical supply with GBPC. The 2015 Electricity Act, which has now been replaced by the 2024 Electricity Act, which purported to give ERCA the legal right to license and oversee energy providers in the entire Bahamas, including the port area, are inconsistent and conflict with the rights and privileges vested in GBPA under the HCA. Now, the Port Authority said it has yet to approve any increase and will review the request and engage with key stakeholders over a 45-day period before making a determination on December 1st. The Davis administration has said that an application for the rate increase should have been submitted to ERCA, not the Port Authority, and the government has also said it does not support an increase in electricity rates in Freeport at this time. All right, so, we were talking about this on the show last week, and so we'll see what the court ruling is on this, right? Mm-hmm. But again, the GBPC is the power company for all of Grand Bahama. And so we're wondering if this is going to come down to the port area versus the non-port area.
Oh, dear.
And whether, could it be possible that the courts will rule that, okay, fine, the Port Authority might be responsible for, AC would have to seek any approval for outside the port area from ERCA.
It's going to be so complicated.
It is complicated. And it,
That's going to nurture not even the seeds, the plants of division that are happening when it comes to the differences of life inside the port boundaries and outside of the port boundaries.
More of the same, some will say.
Yeah.
More of the same.
Oh,
because all you do is cross the street and it's a different world.
No, literally.
Yeah,
Every time I go over to Grand Bahama, I'm like, it's almost... I can't. It's like could I say the Twilight Zone? I don't know like what the feeling is. It's like you drive in one area.
Twilight Zone-esque.
Right. And when it's almost, you literally just have to cross over. Like, what in the world is going on here? And then when you go out of certain settlements, it's like, well, what happened for one settlement to look this way and for the other ones to look completely different? And these are outside of the port area, right? And I'm reminded it's similar to what happens on other family islands.
In New Providence, too.
And in New Providence.
If I can give you some streets where you just keep driving and you're like, wait, what did I do? I went into a new dimension.
Right, yeah.
Johnson Road. That's all I got to say there. Just keep driving and you're like, wait, what just happened? Yeah. But there are others like that as well. But this is, we've got many different states within states in our little Bahamas.
I just feel like I think we can trend it. Honestly, I think we can trend this, right? That every couple of weeks there's something else between the government and the Port Authority happening.
And I want to go back to that statement there that the Prime Minister said. This is very interesting, right? We only have one Bahamas. We don't have two governments, and there's a quasi-element of governance in the Port Authority, which we are now addressing and will be dealing with in due course. What does that mean?
I mean, don't they have an ongoing... Is it ongoing legal battle,
Yeah.
right? And I guess that's what he's assuming to try and...
So are you going to stop it? You're going to quash it? You're going to what? What are you going to do?
When was the agreement renewed again? And how long has that been in place again?
It wasn't. There were elements that had expired that they extended, but there was no extension on it in total. All right, but there were some things that had expired that they extended. Yeah,
right. And that's been in place for how many
God, I think
decades?
Since the 50s. Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And then also, I think when we talk about this, we have to also keep in mind the sentiments of persons from Grand Bahama, right? Who are directly in the situation, those that are in the ports, outside of the port jurisdiction, and how this impacts them. Because some would say, let the Port Authority do whatever because life is a little bit more stable. And then others claim, hey, no, we going through this, so then why don't we all go through it? And then some persons may also just try to say, well, what do we do? Devil's advocate being both? I don't know. But complication, I don't think...
I think we're making it more complicated than it needs to be. Again, decentralization must be what we seek to achieve in this country.
But if the government ain't working for this particular island and how it could work for the other one that's being managed and governed by a legal document which says that they have to do certain things.
The challenge here is that the body that is managing, this is just my opinion, and you can share your opinions, folks, but the body that is managing this area is not doing what it needs to be doing, right? I'm not saying that means that the government must take over.
Right.
It definitely doesn't mean that.
Right.
But it means that this entity needs to be addressed and revised. And I believe...
And people have been saying that for years.
And the government says it too, but what the government isn't saying is that what it wants to put in its place. That is the challenge. Now, if it says that it wants to put in a municipal government that is elected by the people of Grand Bahama and the Freeport area, that would make a whole lot of sense to me.
Ministry of Grand
But
Bahama
that
supposed
is
to be?
the what? No, it cannot
No?
be. It cannot possibly be that. And again, if that is the case, and
I'm being
that person was
facetious,
not
I'm being
elected.
facetious. You can't see my face. I'm being facetious.
Why doesn't every island have a minister then, if that is the case, right?
Why do we have a Minister of Grand Bahama again?
Well, I don't know what that is about. But if you're going to say that this person is there looking out for the interests of Grand Bahama,
what is a member of
why? Exactly. And why doesn't every island have one? So this doesn't make any sense what they're doing.
You know
But
what actually...
if they would say, we want to make this an elected, instead of a family business, a municipal government with elected officials, not MPs, but people from the community who have a vision for the community, a whole lot of people could get behind it. A whole lot of people. And that model needs to be duplicated across the whole country. But that's not how we're talking at all. What are we saying? It sounds like they just want to take over, which would be a disaster.
So this is that's what I want to say before I forget it again. You remember the little theory that I introduced, who just went through not just the budgets, right, but where you have taxes available, like where the income is coming from in the country, to figure out how to infiltrate or how to make even more money from their from those areas, right? I really think that this is a part of that. And it's a long term approach, because imagine the amount of money that the government could get if they actually took over. Like, I'm really thinking that's what this is.
Oh, boy. You know what? If the government wasn't responsible for everything in the whole country, they wouldn't need as much as they're getting. Let people manage their own money, manage their own affairs, and government come in for the big jobs, the big problems. If there is a disaster, if there is something.
Now, Dwight, you're talking too much sense. And if it makes too much sense, what I have learned is that rarely will it happen.
Okay. I'm realizing that too. That's why, anyway.
I still have hope, though. I still try to have hope each and every day God gives me.
this isn't making sense what's going on here. Yeah, the GBBA has tons of problems.
Mhm.
It's not working. But it certainly does not need the government of the Bahamas, the central government of the Bahamas, to come in and save them. That's not what's needed here. Grand Bahamians, speak out. Why are you allowing Nasuvians and people who've never even been to Grand Bahama to decide what happens to you and your island? They don't, what do they do? They don't talk. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Do you hear them ever talk about that? How we need to have more autonomy, that we need to become a semi-autonomous state within the country? Do they ever say that? You ever heard any Grand Bahamian say this? C. Alan Johnson's the closest one to it. Everybody else is like, well, I don't have the port.
The thing is, just go back to the base of it, Dwight, and we've said this time and time and time again. We could think things, we can whisper things, but at the end of the day, Bahamians, for the most part, we want somebody else to make the decisions. We want somebody else to take the fall. We want somebody else to do the big push.
Now,
and we need to move away from that.
I do want to say, caller, we'll get to you in a second. Now, what's happening here is something that I think might scare people off with more autonomy for local governments when they say, well, that doesn't apply to us here. We want to do it this way. But you will need to have Supreme Court battles to clearly define the law. Like, this applies to everybody, not just your city or your island can do this, right? And that will strengthen the law. Welcome this Supreme Court battle, but you need to allow these islands to do for themselves.
Yes.
But you can't have families and the descendants of the families running the show.
Yeah, but that ain't what happened in the Iranian government, though.
Huh?
That ain't really.
Now, I don't know where you're going there. But that's something totally different. Nepo babies in politics.
Let's follow the lineages.
Oh, boy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
I guess your partner, you know.
Yes, Deandra.
I always get a name mixed up.
Deandra.
I laughing here because I have to agree with you both. You know, it took me back to university days when they was pushing team building in our brains and trying to now put us in groups to facilitate and to depend on each other's strengths, to identify our weaknesses and to overcome and achieve the goals at hand. You see, and so it's amazing how that is a call for here in the country to get on that mindset in terms of not looking at a one-man band, but looking at how is everybody able to chip in to achieve the goal. And that's how it always was or supposed to have been designed to do. Even before PLP and UBP era, the men that were responsible for the constituencies, the representatives, you know, they had understanding of how to, I guess, make a constituency work. Because if you look at the numbers, the Bahamas financially wasn't in the disposition that we're in now. Our finances was different, the way they built, I guess, well for whomever is building it for. Now, fast forward in these times, you know, we faced with these decisions, or we faced with issues that never was rectified, and now we trying to solve them. You see? And so,
yeah,
it is what it is. You need team building, mindset, persons in leadership who understand that, you know, you could create teams. I mean, I think that's what the MP is supposed to do, get together with his constituency and create teams based according to cabinet. I mean, everybody have a portfolio, and now you create a bridge so persons can now understand how we can, I guess, keep up with what's going on in the ground, and then he could then, or she can then, provide proper communication to the country on what has to happen in terms of laws and improving conditions for us on the ground as citizens.
Okay, I hear you. I think I agree with you for the most part. Thank you very much for calling. Sure, yeah, the focus needs to be on the laws, though, making it easier, making sure that the laws are in place, and hopefully making sure that there are laws to allow for the local communities to have a say in what they are doing, and without interference from the central government, unless laws are being broken. And that's not exactly what we are doing here. But again, we're going to find ourselves in this situation where most of the development is happening on New Providence if we continue on this path. And any development on the Family Islands will be from, how do I put this? I was going to say outsiders. Wait, moneyed interests.
Okay.
Moneyed interests who are doing their own thing, as opposed to building communities on these islands. And we've been seeing this for 20, 30, 40 years, and it's going to continue to get worse, where we're going to have 98% of the population of the Bahamas in New Providence and a bunch of resorts or little gated cities. And that's what the Bahamas is going to be. Is that what we want?
I don't know if we know what we want these anymore.
We want to get to this other story about what the Prime Minister is saying about the GBPA in just a bit. But let's take more of your calls on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning, Andrew.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Dwight. For far too long, our government has been allowing foreign entities to create policies that either are too wild to our culture, or that's actually, or out of that red way, or that's actually separate us from living different than we normally do. For example, the Grandmama Port Authority. I used to live in Grandmama. I spent about 3 years this way. And one policy I can understand is because the Grand Bahama Port Authority gives you a bonded license, right? Grandmama is one mass land. It's not a bridge that goes from Freeport to 8 Mile Rock. Because you get a bonded place. You cannot go beyond the city of Freeport. Then you reach the end by airplane time to go into 8 Mile Rock. You okay? You have to catch a ride, catch a bus, whatever. You have to park your vehicle there because they give you a bonded place. That should not be in the government. You have never allowed that to happen. That's one of the most biggest policies I've seen. Another policy, when Atlantic came in, women couldn't go asshole. They couldn't go bad. They didn't hire anybody who had red law. We allowed these foreign companies, quite obviously, to set up this policy that goes beyond. Okay? That discriminates give them too much power. And that's the problem, drama. So every company comes and they believe it's so they're their own government. So you have government within the government and our government have no power. And then it's too late. The company say, this is the norm.
I want to go. Why do you think the bonded vehicle thing was a bad idea? Why do you say that?
No, it's not a bad idea. It's a bad idea for you to park your vehicle because it's not a bridge that you have to show ID to go over. It's one island. Why do you have to park? Why do you have to park your car at the end of the road they're going towards 8 Mile Rock, and then you have to catch a ride because it's a bonded vehicle. The bonded vehicle only means that you are duty free in Freeport. That's all it means.
But they don't want you to take it outside the port area.
No, they don't want you to go outside the port area.
Yeah. So why do you?
That's a city idea, Dwight.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bridge.
It doesn't have to be a bridge. It's just you just reach to the end of the city limits.
Not a bridge. That's one island, one master land. Okay.
I hear you.
I don't know who else feels the same way, but that's just what happens.
Okay, I hear you. I don't know if I agree. I get it, and I get what you're saying. But do you have any views on it? No. You're end of the bonded area. You can't drive here.
I mean, is it the same thing that they have OT plates, I think?
Mm-mm. No, that's before you license your car.
Before you license your car.
Out testing.
I could have swore somebody had told me that there's something similar that you can't take it out of a particular area here.
Well, you're not supposed to be driving OT like all week.
Right.
A whole month with the OT plate, something's up.
Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, I get what the caller is saying with not being able to move your vehicle around. But again, if you didn't pay,
yeah,
I mean, that's really the example of what it means to be governed by the port as opposed to the central government or whatnot. And so you can stay inside their area because you didn't
There are
have to pay the
restrictions,
things.
yeah.
But if you were to bring it in a different part, then you can move that back and forth. But now I'm also curious. If I purchase my vehicle outside of that area, I paid my duty or whatnot, I could drive it wherever I want?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's basically you're being punished for saving money.
Why would you look at it as a punishment?
Because you tried to save money. And some people that
Well, I think you have to have a business. I
Mhm.
don't think you can just any old citizen could do that.
Okay.
But I think you have to have a
Oh,
business.
really? Okay, so
to
you
be
have
one of
money.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
You got. I think you have to be right. Freeport people, let us know. You have to be one of the licensees or something, right? No, you got to right. So it's not like
I'm learning
I
a
could
lot.
move to Freeport and start bring it in by cars. I don't think
But
so.
you can't take them
unless
out
I've
of the
ever-
port area.
Right. Well, I mean,
Does
have
that
you
make
been
sense?
outside the port area? Do you want to do that? Do you really want to go there?
Yes, I
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air. Call us back. I hear something.
Hello.
Hi, you're on.
Yeah, good morning. I said DeAndre and Dwight. How
Hi.
you doing?
Yes. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, this is a very interesting conversation. The last caller made some sense there. Firstly, I'm very ignorant about this model. So I know when I was a young man, I had summer jobs at a Far and Gold farm. And so he had a bonded vehicle. All right, he had a bonded vehicle. I really couldn't say where all he rode it, but it was here in Nassau. So my question is with this bonded vehicle, because I didn't really want to discuss this. The bonded vehicle is for somebody who has a business license or a business venture. What's
Yeah,
the
you have
reason
to
for
you have
giving
to be a
someone
licensee.
bonded vehicle? Is it because of a business concession?
Yes, essentially.
All right. Yeah, so for me, then if it's for a business concession, I would agree with him. So you shouldn't limit the movements of the person. I would liken it to traveling apartheid or transportation apartheid. But what I really wanted to comment on and give credence to you and DeAndre for is the overdevelopment, right? And I kind of laugh, and you see how we're being outgated. Like I ride around the other day. There's gated communities everywhere, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Dwight, the Nassau is there such thing as overdevelopment? Because I think Nassau is being overdeveloped. Every bush is becoming a gated community. So what we have then is the Beeman people are in the middle, and it's a fiddle. I mean, come on, man, Dwight. What's going on? Everybody has a gated community. Nassau is being overdeveloped. There's no bush. There's no greenery. But we're running around the world talking about climate change, but we're not willing to maintain the forestry, Dwight.
Well, I mean, it's two different.
Overdevelopment will kill us.
See, it's two different things. Overdevelopment is debatable, but the gated community thing is because people are security and safety is a part of it.
But Dwight, still overdevelopment is the problem. What I'm saying is the gated community it juxtaposes with overdevelopment because everybody wants a gated community, and we will be in the middle. We wouldn't even have access to the beaches now. I see this.
Do we
People
have
starting
access
to
to
look
the
red
beaches
out
now?
west on the beach now. The reason why they did cut down those trees out west because they was trying to impede the public crowds on holidays. Dwight, I see the apartheid. I don't know who's blinded, but I mean, I'm not blinded, man. I born in this country. I know when Paradise Island had the beach on the southern side of Paradise Island where all those homes are. We have given up, a lot of things. So it's time to put a moratorium on these Goldwyn just east of Goodman's Bay. There was an argument about the easement, the annexing of the easement, but the people are not speaking out about anything, right? I mean, it's pathetic for me, man. I'm sorry. Bless up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse as more. DeAndre, I'm sure you can attest to this. More Family Island people have to move to New Providence because it's the only place where there's real work. But they're all terrified of the island. They think it's nothing but crime and murder. And so, the gated communities look very attractive, and they're all going to seek those out, and then there'll only be little swaths here and there where you're not gated. And the entire population of the country piled up on a little tiny island, and all the playground of the rich for the whole 699 other islands. Everybody else will have a key or a rock or a whole island to themselves. All the rich people, while we're all piled up here, trying to get into gated communities. That's the future of the Bahamas if we don't decentralize and really plan for what we want for our country, and that is going to require some semi-autonomous governance for these islands. And Grand Bahama was onto it. Initially, this was a great way to start it, but it cannot continue as a company that runs a city with living people who have goals and dreams. It can't continue like this. It cannot continue. It needs to be back in the hands of the people who are from that island, who have a vision for Freeport and for other places on Grand Bahama as well, because West End desperately needs this. And the eastern parts of Grand Bahama desperately needs all of this. And you need community leaders who are elected officials, not MPs. MPs. We need the MPs to work to make this happen. They need to make laws to empower these people to have a vision and change these islands. But we can't continue with Nassau deciding what happens everywhere, where Nassau doesn't have a plan for itself. Nassau doesn't have a plan for itself. Look around. Everybody here is doing their own thing.
It's been like that for quite some time. But how do we pave that path forward?
Easily. We got to stop this madness. Just say it. We want real local government,
Right.
real municipal government, real island government. Just got to say it and believe it, that we can do this. That the people of Long Island, that the people of Acklands, that the people of wherever have enough talent that they could decide on their 20, 30, 40-year plan and that they will be empowered to execute it. That you don't need somebody living in Nassau who barely has ties to the community to go to the house and say, I stand on behalf of the people that they barely know. This is not the way that we need to be running this country.
And it goes back to the people. We've been elected or we've been
I think the people don't know better, that there is a better way, that every other country in the world functions in this other way. I don't know why we've been brainwashed into believing that this is fine.
Because it works for some people, Dwight. That's why.
Count up that sum. How many is in that sum?
I actually did it before. I counted the amount of families that really benefit from the economic ongoings of this
Is
country.
it a two-hander, or are we a little over two?
No, it's actually a little over two now.
Little over two hands?
Because some of those
Oh.
have just come back in.
Wow.
So I would say my grandparents or
Wow,
my
how
parents'
nice.
generation. Yeah.
So 2.5 hands?
Right, but they also marry into each other if you really look
So
at
back
it.
to
So
two.
it's like, wow, interesting. This is powerful.
Okay, and that's why people are fighting to get in to those little groups,
no.
as opposed to starting something new.
I look at that, like, honestly, not on a daily basis, obviously, because if you think about it, it literally just disappoints you day in and day out when you really think about the fact that the decisions that are made in and about our country are made by a select few persons. Now, granted, of course, they have to go through the processes of being elected. But if you believe that the person that you see in the House of Assembly is not receiving advice from persons who are not sitting in the House of Assembly and potentially who are not even in your constituency, then you have some more news to tell you. But yeah, no, it's curious to me. It's always been.
Let's take these calls quickly. We want to get to this other article. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Hi. Good morning.
Dwight,
Hi.
I call back now. Publicly, you know I am not a fan of yours. And we are good friends, but, I don't. But I have to agree with you this morning.
Oh, boy.
I have to agree with you this morning. Beat up on Deandra because what she is talking is not the culture of Long Island. I have to agree with you. So I give you an A this morning. She come in with her liberal theory, and she's talking about I know Long Islanders well enough to know that is not Long Island culture that she's talking. So I have to salute you this morning.
Okay. Thank you very much. You're not a fan of mine, but we're friends. Great. I don't think Deandra's saying anything differently from what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you.
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what he.
I don't know what's happening.
saying.
Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight and Deandra. Sorry for calling back. Dwight, do you know that he had bonded vehicles in Nassau years ago?
I've seen them. I remember seeing that. I don't know how and what that was about, because where couldn't you go?
You could leave
My neighbor had a bonded truck. I don't know what that was
My
about.
father-in-law was a farmer, okay, and he could have drive Lightfoot Key to Yamacraw, any vendor bonded vehicle. Okay, so I don't know what's the difference now between the people. Okay, but he had a bonded vehicle. Okay, so you need to do some studies, and you could come back.
Yeah,
Okay?
I mean, I don't know where I'll find the
Thanks,
information
buddy.
from. But I know, but he had a bonded truck. I don't know. What are you saying?
tell
What?
you, I think I saw
My
this
producer
before.
saying something. Farmers? Oh, after 5 you had to be off the street. What? Okay. But so what? They didn't pay duty. Oh, but you couldn't drive after 5. That's funny. So what if you got stuck in traffic? What, you just have to park it there on the street? I guess that's why they don't do that one anymore. All right, interesting. Yeah, but I remember that. I remember seeing bonded vehicles here as a kid. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna look into that one. But now you don't have license plates at all. That's what we do now in 2024. I was surrounded this morning by 4 cars, 2 in front of me, 1 on the side, and I think there was another one. Anyway, 4 cars, no license plates. If anything happens here, good God. But yeah, great stuff. Anyways, here's the other article. Davis Land-based GBPA says government will secure growth for Freeport. Okay. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this one. Despite receiving billions of dollars in concessions over the years, the Grand Bahama Port Authority has done little to enrich and empower Bahamians on the island, Prime Minister Philip Davis. Davis was in Freeport for a meeting of the PLP's women's and men's branches, reiterated that investors haven't raised an eyebrow over the row between the port and the government. The Davis administration is demanding that the GBPA pay $357 million, it says, is owed, but the port says it doesn't owe the government a penny. Not even $1, really? Davis said on Saturday, quote, "Understand this. The Port Authority has received concessions under the Hospital Creek Agreement worth billions of dollars. So let's admit what we all know. The politicians of the past were too timid, too deferential, too unwilling to hold the Port Authority accountable. You tell me, given those billions, would you say enough Bahamians have been enriched and empowered?" I agree with you. No, I guess they all shouted no. The fear tactics that have been used to quiet critics in the past, those don't work on me. I won't defend the status quo. No more subsidizing private profits for wealthy shareholders at the public's expense. Well, the Prime Minister accused FNM leader Michael Pintard, who was the MP from Marco City, of parroting many of the arguments put forth by the port. Davis said, quote, "He just repeated like a trained parrot what the Port Authority said, that our efforts to hold the Port Authority responsible would scare off investors. Let me tell you something. None of the many investors we're working with across a range of projects here in Grand Bahama or any other island have objected or retreated or raised any concerns or even an eyebrow. Good investment partners don't fear governments who enforce contract terms." So he was wrong to repeat their talking points, wrong not to stand up for the people of Grand Bahama. Haven't we had enough of the Port Authority collecting license fees without earning them? Davis said the government has secured $2 billion in new investments for Grand Bahama. He says those are investments cultivated by our government, not the Port Authority. From the Carnival Port to the shipyard expansion to a new MSC port, big things are finally in motion. Construction of the new health campus is underway. We're also advancing the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama International Airport, recognizing that this is vital infrastructure. Infrastructure is key to unlocking economic growth and making Grand Bahama a true hub of commerce. Announcing a new purchaser for the Grand Lucayan Resort. Oh boy, how long is a cusp? Because they've been on this for a long, long time. I mean, that must be it. Boy. Anyway, a move that will breathe new life into the tourism sector and create jobs for our people. These are not just plans, they are tangible actions that reflect our commitment to transforming Grand Bahama into the thriving, prosperous community it deserves to be. This year, the government will begin the redevelopment of the Princess Towers Hotel, the West Sunrise Road, and the International Bazaar. And we create a brand new hub for commerce, trade, and local business opportunities in the heart of Grand Bahama. So either the Port Authority can do what we're supposed to do, or we need a more productive partner here in Grand Bahama. Simple as that. All right, that's the Prime Minister there, more productive partner. Again, what form do they envision this taking? Is it another private company coming in? Or do they really want to see a municipal government with elected officials? That is key. Because if they want a private company, then good God, this is not going to be different. And at some point, you're going to fall out of favor with the private company again. And then what are you going to do? You can't do anything. You have to take them to court in order to get anything to change. And you can't vote them out. Why do we like to do the same thing over and over and over?
You asking these questions and you already know what the most likely outcome is going to be. You already know.
No, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I know what the
I said
answer is.
likely
Yeah.
outcome.
It doesn't have to be. I'm hoping that people will wake up and see that the way we've been doing things. Right, exactly. It's a new day.
It is a new day.
Let's read these text messages before we have to take a break. This person says, Dwight, I've not been able to listen, but how do you... don't know if you've come up with considering what Ginger Moxie and Dr. Michael Darville, and by extension the POP, have inflicted upon us with BPL for the past 2 years. It's insulting and downright disgusting, astonishing, and disrespectful to me that they could fix their fingers to write and voice to speak such a statement. Please remind them that what they've allowed to happen in New Providence so that they can apologize. I'm trying to gather what you're saying. You're saying that with the problems we're having with BPL in New Providence, that what they're criticizing GBPC about is insulting? Okay. I hear you, but they're saying that things will be different here. Now, we'll see. I don't know. But anyway. This texter says here, I like your idea of giving every island autonomy. I didn't quite say that. But when they're ready, and they're not all ready. They're not all ready. But, and I didn't say full autonomy. I said, semi-autonomy. Because
I'm not talking about saying that independence for each island.
Each island becoming their own country. I didn't say that. But more autonomy when they're ready. And you're going to have to, right. And this is, again, there are examples all over. Canada, Australia, the United States. When you are ready to become a state, you will be granted the opportunity, right? But you have to meet certain criteria, and we can set that and put that in place. We can certainly do that. But anyway, to semi-autonomy, to run their own affairs. Luther would not be in the mess it's in right now with water and power and catching eternal hell.
It is terrible. Like, it's honestly terrible for my friends who are there and who tell me what they go through. It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, they're saying there's going to be a mass demonstration in Harbor Island today. Really? Okay. Well, that's interesting. This person says here there was a form of an apartheid gate between Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, and people had to walk from 8 Mile Rock to Freeport if they drove. That was part of the bonded plates issue there. Okay. This person says here, Florida is one land mass. Do you know that if there is a car chase in Miami police can't go into Fort Lauderdale. They have to end the chase. Yeah, because you're in different cities. Yeah, but I think the sheriffs, right? That's how it works. The sheriffs for the state can continue to move for the county.
And then they have state troopers.
Right, you have state troopers as well.
Counties will have to communicate.
There's definitely, they definitely delegate and separate the powers, and people know their place. It's an interesting system. By the way, I asked that caller why black taxi drivers only go in tourist areas and don't go over the hill to pick up black locals, and New Providence is one landmass. Okay. Tell that caller to ease up on your co-host on that good Long Island woman, Benedict.
I appreciate you, whoever you are, because he got me questioning whether I'm doing something against my own heritage.
Doesn't make sense. He needs to talk to his government, his New Day government. Wow. Okay. Boy. The POB has nothing to do with those investments. They met many of those in the pipeline. Wow. Some of them definitely, yes. Bonded vehicles were duty-free mainly for the fun sundown, not for hire. Yeah, that's what our producer was saying. Yeah, okay, interesting. So, island autonomy, freedom, exclamation marks. It can't just be a Nassau boy talking like this, though. We need, I don't know what that is. Don't look at that. I don't know what that is.
No,
I don't know if that's true. But it can't just be a Nassau boy talking about this.
No.
We need to hear our family islanders really pushing for this.
And also just
not hearing
saying
it.
That each family island's realities could be similar to others, but it's not the exact same, right? Like I was remarking, and this was, I think, last year, I was visiting one of my friends on Eleuthera. Like the difference between Eleuthera and Long Island are astounding. It's just so much more life going on Eleuthera because they have more folks there. They have more economic opportunities and whatnot. Now, granted, places shut down and whatnot, so you could tell there's not so much things happening in certain areas, but there's definitely more economic opportunity available. And if I recall correct, from years gone by, in Exuma, it's similar. So you have family islands that are operating at particular levels already, right? Yeah. But then you also have on those same islands, as we are seeing now with Eleuthera, similar struggles like power generation, communications. And these things we're talking about, I mean, a couple months ago, we were told about the Family Island Renaissance. Was it a project or an initiative? I forget what it was called, right? And we were hearing that the people got to do it for themselves for the most part. If my power is not working, if my data connections are not working, if my water is not working, how am I expected to perform? Yeah. How am I expected to generate business? If I'm running a restaurant, to be quite honest, it's like if you look inside the little communities that you go around in, the economic opportunities are limited to food stores, restaurants for the most part, and that's about it if you really look at it. If you go through and like little convenience store shop things, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah. You know, but Laverne and I talk about this a lot on air and off here about why we don't hear more people talking like this, saying that we need to have more autonomy.
Because they're scared.
They are scared. And she said nobody really wants to have the burden of being responsible
That's what I just said earlier.
Them,
yes.
right?
I agree.
And they'd rather sit back and blame somebody else.
And they don't want to be the person being blamed.
Blame the government, but no, you're now the mayor, you're now the governor or the premier of this island, and you're allowing this to happen. And nobody wants that, but let's blame the MP, blame the government. Anybody but me, I just voted for you.
Because Bahamians, we talk, right? Like we'll say anything. When it comes to backing it up, very difficult. Yeah. When we talking to other people, when it comes to us, no boy, man, don't throw that rock too hard. My glass house could shatter.
Well, we're going to be stuck in this position unless more people adult up and get out there and say, it's time for us.
The thing about it, though, Dwight, what we also need to keep in mind, and this is something that, of course, we keep on talking about this no matter the week, but people on the Providence don't know the struggles of the people on the Family Islands for the most part. And so we need to actually learn more about what our fellow Bahamians are going through. Yeah. And our fellow Bahamians on the Family Islands need to keep talking about what they're going through.
Because the New Providence people won't care.
Right?
Sadly,
and it's not
they
carried
won't care
inside the newspapers or anything like that, but you have certain situations going on all the time.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath for that one. They're not going to care. They're not going to care. And that's a very sad thing. We've got to go to a break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
We have an office just for you. Listen while I tell this number to you. 3528-044. I said 3528-044.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
It's a Scotia Plan Loan Summer. With Scotiabank, you can chase your summer vacation, swing into your home renovation, and slide on back to school with ease. Apply for your Scotia Plan loan and benefit from competitive rates, flexible loan terms, and no payments for up to 2 months. Take off your to-do list this summer and apply for a Scotia Plan loan today.
Summer may be ending, but the party is just getting started at Nassau Cruise Port. Don't miss our Summerfest All-Star Bahamian Concert on Saturday, August 17th at the Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater. Enjoy electrifying performances by Abby, Sweet Emily, Elon Moxie, The Mighty Pencil, Shad Colley and the VIPs, Blotty, and more. Best of all, it's free. Gates open at 4 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Grab your crew, bring your vibes, and let's end this summer in true Bahamian style.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Lyndon Pindling International Airport reported its best fiscal year ever, achieving a $4.06 million for fiscal year 2024. That's according to Nassau Airport Development Company. In a statement released yesterday, saying that the numbers for fiscal year 2025, which started on July 1st, are already strong, with 412,234 total passengers traveling through LPIA in that month. The statement says that those numbers are 2.8% above fiscal year 2024. Nat also explained that the airport is set to break 2019's calendar year record of 4.1 million passengers by the end of this year. Citigroup is close to divesting itself of its trust business. That's according to financial advisement magazine Barron's. Trust service is just one of the services on offer at the Global Bank's Bahamas location. The Barron's article saying that, like other banks' trust units, Citi works with ultra-wealthy clients to oversee and help plan for their trust and estate needs. It says that a buyer that has been identified now, but Citi would not disclose who that buyer is. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. And Bahamas Taxi Cab Union President Wesley Ferguson says that he's targeting $4 million to be invested into the BTCU's new headquarters. Ferguson telling Guardian Business in the run-up to next month's BTCU elections that the reconstruction of the Nassau Street headquarters is one thing on his agenda that has to be completed. That building is a total mess. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Friday, market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 3,476 shares, closing up 10 cents to $6. Bahamas Waste moving 500, unchanged at $11.06. Commonwealth Brewery moving 1,100 shares, up 99 cents to $12. Commonwealth Bank moving 100, unchanged at $5.02. Consolidated Water up moving 148 shares, closing unchanged at $5.44. Emira Incorporated down 19 cents, closing at $8.72. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,929.74, up 0.90. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 86,293 shares crossing the exchange, with 22 trades accumulating a value of $456,435. The BISX All-Share Index gained 3.54 points, or 0.12%, ending the week at 2,942.77. Year-to-date, the index is up 91.20%. The week's volume and value leader, Focall, moving 49,665 shares in 2 trades for a value of $267,001.05. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune into CFAL Talks tonight at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. And that's going to do it for us. DeAndre Cartwright, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Dwight Strachan, for having me.
See you again next week.
Yes.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great one, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.